Guys, welcome back to DR Sports. I'm your host, James, and we're here for the big fight live. We're talking Devin Haney versus Vasiliy Lomachenko. Many people are calling this the crossroad fight of the year, but the question is, who will cross that road tonight and raise their hand victorious? Let's get ready to rumble. We've got an all-star panel today. We've got my man Shane to my left in the top here. How's it going, my man?
I'm good, man. What's up?
We've got Laurie just below me. Everything going well down there?
You best believe it.
Zoned in, locked in, and ready to go. And down in the bottom left, but very not least, we got my boy Nick. How are you, my man?
What's going on, man? Chantel Cameron won. I'm happy. I told you.
Well, let's start off. That's the better place to start, if any. Laurie has been. He's had some choice words to say about this Chantel Cameron fight. I mean, just let's get this ball rolling, Laurie. What were your thoughts on the fight?
They tried to rob her, but they couldn't. I mean, the mere fact that people were saying that was a close fight is absolutely laughable. Chantel Cameron won at least 7 rounds of that 10-round fight. Katie Taylor, listen, she's a shot fighter. It's as simple as that. She lost heavily. Yes, she tried, but Chantel Cameron won that. Listen, it was easy work. It was easy work, bro. People that were saying that was a close. I saw Adi Oladipo, who I have to say I'm fast losing respect for.
Oh, what are you going at my man for? Do you care to quantify that? Reasons why?
Because these guys are corrupt. Like, they're trying to sell you a narrative that wasn't true. Oh, it was close. She won. Katie Taylor swept the last 3 rounds. Come on, bro. No, she didn't. You know what I mean?
But as the hometown fighter, surely you're always going to expect that, you know?
No, but I don't like, because people are not being honest. Mm-hmm. It wasn't close at all, like, bro.
I think you're unfair singling out Ade specifically.
I'm singling out Ade because he works for a zone.
He works for a broadcaster. It was no different to when Eddie Hearn was with Sky. We see it all the time. There's no difference when we listen to it.
It is different. Shall I tell you why? Because Eddie Hearn's a promoter. This guy's supposed to be a commentator.
I'm saying the broadcasting team are always biased towards the fight. We know that. We're going to see it tonight. We spoke about it before. You know, the place that to link it back to tonight's fight, what Devin Haney is going to have to do tonight is what you said actually in the midweek show about having to win it convincingly. Because you're right, you know, the scorecards were dodgy. 95-95 was a real joke on one of the judges.
Disgrace.
Disgrace. But
me and you, Nick, we watched the fight and we were texting back and forth. And we was scoring it round by round. And we was agreeing pretty much on every round, right? And there was a couple of rounds that I was actually being kind to Katie Taylor and I gave her the round. She was being outworked, outscored in pretty much every round.
Yeah, I gave her the rounds that were really close.
How can anyone say that fight was close? Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like, when you said that she's a shock fighter, I'll keep it real. I've never thought she was that great in the first place. So, I've never... Wow. She got no defense. She got no. I don't like fighters that don't have defense. If you have no defense, therefore you're doing half a job. I don't like fighters like that. I see it against Pursoon. I saw it against even when she fought Natasha Jonas. No defense, just face first boxing. I don't like boxing like that. So yes,
okay, fair enough, Shane. What you're saying, I hear that, and I do agree with a lot of what you say because I do think that Katie Taylor's been overrated in her career. I think that she lost both fights against Pursoon. The first fight was one of the worst robberies I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, it's one of the worst robberies I've ever seen in my life. The second fight with Pursoon, I thought she won that as well. The Amanda Serrano fight, I think that the referee kept her in the fight when she should really have been stopped, right? And then tonight now, Chantel Cameron dominated her, bro.
So if I was to step in, what do you think could be the reason for that? Would you put it down to her links with Eddie Hearn? For some reason,
listen, Katie Taylor's been a great fighter. I can't deny that. But there are some people that are just hallowed. People just treat them, give them this esteem status. And no matter what they do, they can't do no wrong. And I just think it's very unfair, man. You know what I mean? We've seen it with Canelo. We've seen it with a host of fighters down the years where, you know what I mean, they just get the sympathy in everything they do. And I think it's very unfair. Chantal Cameron won that fight easy tonight. It was not close.
Do you think that she was less to Laurie and Shane? Do you think she was a little bit less face first before when she was younger, or she was still face first before, but when she was so quick and dynamic, she was able to kind of cover up those defensive lapses, whereas now she's a little bit older and slowing down. You can see it much more.
I feel like it's very simple. It's basically what you said, but a lot of the time she would mess her way through a fight. So she would just overwhelm her opponent with just ridiculous output and work rate, and smother a lot of what her opponents were doing.
Well, like tonight, right? So what happened? The general pattern of the fight is that from the opening bell, Chantal Cameron came out. She pushed Katie Taylor back. She was out jabbing her, outworking her, right? And then what would happen is occasionally Katie Taylor would throw what I would call a shoe shine flurry. A lot of them didn't land, and then all of a sudden, Andy Lee and various other people who are working for the commentary brought, "Oh, Katie Taylor!" You know, it's just,
listen, your obsession with the commentators is weird to me.
What do you mean obsession, bro? It's true. You said
it. But it's been like that as old as time, mate. It's been like that as old as time.
Listen, Nick, I'm not going to let you get away with this. You agreed with me. Yeah, stop political. Because you agreed with me. Stop that.
The commentary was biased, but the
commentary. Yeah, well, then say that. Don't stop.
But the commentary is always biased.
Stop capping. Stop capping. You know what they were trying to do.
The commentary is always biased.
What he's trying to say is very simple. Yes, the commentary was biased, but you should come to accept that, because that always happens.
I'm saying, yes, okay, listen, what I'm trying to say is it's very unfair and it's very dishonest of the broadcasters to present that when they know that Chantal Cameron won that fight easily.
Yeah.
Stop trying to say that it was close. Anyone that knows anything about boxing knows that Chantal Cameron won that fight comfortably. And when I say that, I'm not trying to denigrate from Katie Taylor. It's just that I've got a real problem in the corruption in boxing.
Yeah, that's boxing, mate. I mean, I can't really jump in too much on the actual fight because I do concede I haven't watched the fight yet. I was sleeping for this. I had a lot of work, busy days. I haven't actually been able to watch it. One point I do contest, though, that my man Toby brings up here is slating very heavily into Katie Taylor. And as he says here, I'm not sure I'd agree personally that he says probably the main reason that
comment is a load of nonsense.
Is where it is, but she's played a key part of it, which would lead me to. Well, it would lead me to my question: if she's not the reason that women's boxing is where it is, who would you say is?
It's not just her, bro.
Put it on the map. Okay, but who would you say
is? What we're saying is,
who is the greatest women's boxer of all time?
Can I finish? What we're saying is, so because Katie Taylor's popular, she's allowed to just win decisions that she's not deserving.
No, you're bringing a completely different argument in here. That was not my question at all.
I'm talking about the guy that submitted the comment.
Yeah, and he's picking up on a point that Shane said. He's not talking about tonight. He's not talking about that. He's talking about that fake that Shane completely blasted into her and said that she's got no defense and he didn't think she was a great fighter at all. So you're giving Shane an easy way out here, Laurie.
1 second, James. If I'm incorrect, this guy, I don't know what this guy's talking about. He's talking rubbish, because if you're disagreeing with my point, then mention one aspect of defense that she has. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Okay, Shane, who would you say is the greatest women's boxer of all time?
It goes without saying Clarissa Shields. Clarissa Shields had not had one
by 100 miles.
She hasn't had one controversial fight. Every single fight she's had is easy work.
Shall I tell you what it is, right? With Katie Taylor, right? I would concede this. With Katie Taylor, right? She is a very dignified, very classy individual. Okay. Unfortunately for Clarissa, this is my personal opinion. You guys may disagree. As much as I love Clarissa, as much as I admire her, I don't think she carries herself in the best way, right? And I think that people, what they will tend to do is look at Katie Taylor up against Clarissa Shields and say, well, Katie Taylor is much more likable, much more personable, and just crown her the queen of women's boxing. But in terms of talent, Clarissa Shields is leagues above Katie Taylor. It's not
League.
even close.
It's not even close.
Bro, it's not even close. Not even close.
You
So
can argue that Katie Taylor has 3 losses on her resume.
yeah,
You can
exactly.
argue that easy. You can't argue nothing for Clarissa. There's not one fight you can say, whether it's the hammer fight, whether it's the what was the girl she just fought the other day, Marshall fight. She beats everyone comfortably, easy work. She's Floyd Mayweather of women's boxing. Katie
But
Taylor is just
Floyd
overlooked.
Mayweather's
Clarissa,
comparison.
I will say this, Clarissa, in my personal opinion, sometimes she doesn't conduct herself in a way that makes her more appeal to a greater fan base. In other words, in layman's terms, she pisses a lot of people off. Even me, sometimes some of the things she tweets, I think, like, why are you doing this? You know what I mean? She doesn't come across in the best way. And what people do is they will use that to denigrate her as a boxer. But in
Facts.
terms of being a boxer, her achievements, her ability, it's on a different level to Katie Taylor.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry, that is the truth. She's
I
on
think you're
another
getting
level.
a lot of people are agreeing with you in the chat here. AJ J Greens is Toby Lerone has come back with you though. Clarissa is the best, but Jane Couch and Katie Taylor put women's boxing on the map for me. Clarissa tries to be the female Floyd, in my opinion, which is something you were talking about there, maybe with her personality, and she doesn't sell tickets.
So what are we
Okay,
talking about? Are we talking about selling tickets or being the
thank
best
you.
women's boxer? What are we
Thank
talking
you.
about?
Thank you.
You know, it
Thank
all
you.
goes into it. All these facets do go into
Bro,
it at
that's
the
a
end of the
load
day.
of rubbish. Because
But
if you're
maybe
looking to it, it's rubbish. It's rubbish. I don't
no,
really want to hear
it's not rubbish.
it.
That does go into it. But like
No,
you
no, it
said,
doesn't.
maybe
It does.
sometimes
They're
she
two
can
different.
be controversial. And speaking of controversy, there has been a lot of controversy in the WhatsApp group over the past day or two over a specific incident that happened, shall we say. And that was, of course, at the press conference. I'm sure you guys have all seen the video.
It wasn't
Devin
the press
Haney
conference, it was the weigh-in.
the weigh-in, sorry, yeah. Devin Haney pushing Vasiliy Lomachenko. Now, was it out of order? Was it something
It was
that
very
is
out of
part
order.
and parcel of the sport of boxing? I mean, Shane. In fact, no, not Shane. Laurie, I want to hear your thoughts on this first, man.
Right, okay. So my thing is this. I thought it was poor form from Devin Haney. Listen, people have made the point. Shane has made the point, and he's right in saying this, that these things do happen all the time. However, I thought it was poor form. He didn't need to do it. And when you have a situation whereby Devin Haney going into this fight is, by most people's opinion, the unpopular choice, what he is doing is just making himself more unpopular. And I'm worried for him because I already think that the most of the people watching this fight seem to want Lomachenko to win. And he's, okay, you could argue that he's creating this villain type role, but I'm just a little worried that when you do stuff like this, it just gives people the impression that it gives people more the impression that they want Lomachenko to beat you. And I think the judges would have seen that. The fans would have seen that. And I just don't think it's a good look for him. He didn't need to do that.
But
He
is
just
there
didn't need to
anything?
do that. I
Is
thought
there
he was
anything
silly.
wrong with looking like a villain? Is there anything wrong going
I,
into a
I
fight
thought
like
it lacked
this as a
class, to
heel?
be honest. I thought it lacked class. And
Well,
I just think
what about you, Nick? You
I
kind of
mean, I guess
agreed
that's
with him
how
there.
you're coming to
And
me
you,
last.
yeah, well, I'm coming to you last for a reason because Nick's was someone that agreed a lot with Laurie on this, and you said it kind of led into Lomachenko's favor. How do you see that?
I just thought, as for a fight that's this close, that's going to be, that I think is going to be this competitive, I think that he may need a lot of as much social favor as he can garner. And actually, you know, when we see people be villains in the past, you have to be a lot better, a hell of a lot better than your opponent. And my issue with it was that there's a saying that the tough guys don't act tough with the tough guys. Do you know what I mean? So if you're going to go and be aggressive, go and be aggressive with someone who's matching your level of aggression. You know, I think going and pushing someone who was being quite chilled and relaxed. Yes, it's very similar to Shane, who was the fighter that it's a Big Baby Miller to Jarrell Miller with AJ, where AJ's just standing there and he pushes him. You know, I don't know. Like, I'm not chastising Devin Haney. I don't think that Devin Haney necessarily did anything wrong. We've seen with
I think he did it to sell pay-per-view.
No, I agree with you. But I think that is misplaced, because although he's going to sell tickets maybe now for this fight tonight, I don't know what damage that might do to him longer term in his career because of the image that he's building up. I don't know, but anyway, Shane.
It's interesting that you brought the Baby Miller AJ fight into it, though, because that built the fight like no other. Because how many of us wanted to see that interview that never got released between him and Anthony Joshua? It's one of the first times apparently that we'd actually heard Anthony Joshua been that riled up, and it was actually a really exciting thing for a lot of people.
Can I just make a quick point, right? Because you're referencing AJ and Big Pharmacy Miller, and I don't think it's a quantifiable comparison, and I'll tell you why. Listen, this fight tonight, right? Devin Haney is the champion, Lomachenko is the challenger. But in a lot of people's eyes, you've only got to go online to witness this. You will see there's overwhelming sentiment for Lomachenko. Most people out there, fans, fighters, they seem to want Lomachenko to win, right? And what I'm saying is, Devin Haney, by doing that, he's put a lot of people against him. And what I'm saying is, he didn't need to do that. I just think that was poor on his part. He could have engaged in mind games without going that far. I thought it was classless. I thought it was unnecessary. And I think it's the type of thing that might come back to bite him in the arse if it's a close decision on the cards.
It could potentially, but I'm gonna have to intervene here. Shane looks like he's about to explode.
I can't lie. Like, I'll be honest. All of this, for one, I understand, Laurie. I understand where you're coming from, and I'm gonna say this: anyone who finds a problem with that, you just need to stop watching boxing, because we see it all the time. But moving on past that, the most important thing is he just went into Cambosis' backyard, where there was 30 to 40,000 people who wanted him to lose. The judges wanted him to lose. The promotion wanted him to lose. Everyone wanted him to lose. So it doesn't make it that it's not new to him being an underdog and the unlikable character in the ring. However, in this situation, it's more than just what you're doing for the judges and what you're doing to sell a fight. I'm going to physically show you, Lomachenko, I'm stronger than you and bigger than you. And I'm going to get into your head. What did Lomachenko say as soon as he got pushed? Oh, we've got him now. We've got him now. Mentally, he's trying to bring him into a fight that Lomachenko really doesn't want to be in, because physically, he's not as strong and he's not as big. Go out there and physically impose yourself. That's what you do.
Can I ask you a question? You missed the show on Wednesday. I was talking to Laurie about who is stronger and who has more of a powerful punch out of the two guys. Who do you think, Shane?
Loma has probably more punch power, but there is no way anyone's telling me that Lomachenko is physically stronger than Devin Haney. Devin Haney, he's coming into this fight weighing 154 pounds. There is no way he is going to be able to push Devin Haney around in this ring. When Devin Haney gets in the clinches, when Devin Haney gets in the tie-ups, he's going to physically impose himself. And that was just an early sign just to show you, watch, I will push you around and I'm going to push you back. That's what he done. And for me, I have no problem with that whatsoever. And if the judges weren't going to give him the fight if it's close anyway, regardless, because it's his last fight with Top Rank, and they're going to want to keep it in-house. We already know that. That was beforehand regardless. So for me, I'm like, you know what? If this is how you guys want to play, I'm going to be the villain. And I'll bully the Lomachenko. That's what you go out and do.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I do personally like that angle. I think it's an angle that isn't really used a lot in boxing. You see it in a lot of other combat sport or a lot of sports entertainment. You don't really see it as much in boxing. You don't really see someone really embracing the heel role, because some people think it can inflict negatively on their pay-per-view value. But I actually think there's a huge gap in the market for it, and it can rattle people. It can rattle, as my man over here said, we'll see if it will get into Lomachenko's head or not. I don't really personally see it rattling him. I think Lomachenko is probably a bit above that. And when you said yourself, Nick, he was coming into it with kind of calm energy, I would say maybe for me personally, it looked a little bit like Devin Haney was forcing it a little bit. He wasn't coming in like naturally very angry. He kind of wanted to force a moment out of nothing.
To me, it kind of gave the impression that Haney was a little bit nervous. That was nervous energy coming out there.
Nervous.
I think he's nervous.
No, let me explain why. Let me explain why. Because he acted out of character. If that was Josh Taylor that did that, right, I would say, well, that is in keeping with the way he is. But I've never, ever seen Devin do that before. He didn't do that out in Australia, Kambosos. I've never, ever seen him do that before. For me, what he did there was acting out of character. And a lot of times when people act out of character, they are displaying nervous energy. And regardless of that, he's going to get a heavy fine for what he did. I just don't think that was the right path for him to go down.
But he never had to physically impose himself against Kambosos. Neither did he have to do in any other fight. In this fight, in order for him to win, he's going to have to take advantage of his physical stature and his physical size. So for me, this is the best. Because if it was me, I would have advised him to do something similar. Go out there and show that you're stronger than him. Because that's what I would do. I remember when Dylan White fought Joseph Parker, and Dylan White in a press conference in a weigh-in, he was always in his grill. When he went to the press conference, go and watch that press conference back. He just went right up to Joseph Parker and physically showed you, I'm bigger and stronger than you. And what happened in the fight? He just bullied him, pushed him around, forced his head down, wrestled him, just made it a nasty fight.
All right, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Shane. But surely that is in keeping with Dylan's character, isn't it?
Of course.
Right. So that kind of alpha male, bully, aggressive character that he displays. You saw him the other day with Martin Bacoli, him upstairs for a street fight. That is in keeping with what Dylan. But what I'm saying with Devin, he's normally not like that. He's normally quite mild-mannered. Right. You saw when he had the face-offs with Kambosos. And let's be honest, man, Kambosos said things about him that was way worse than anything that Lomachenko said about him. Kambosos calling him boy, calling him a fake gangster, all sorts of derogatory remarks. I never, ever saw Devin react. The reason why he didn't react, because he thought to himself, you know what? When we get in the ring, I'll show you. Right? What I'm saying here is, to me, what I saw there betrayed a little bit of nervous energy, almost as if he felt compelled to try and show Loma that, listen, man, I'm stronger than you. Wait till you get in the ring.
So you think it's potentially a branding issue for Devin Haney going down this line?
I think he saw the Tank Ryan Garcia fight and he saw the way Tank was carrying on, and he probably thinks to himself, well, this will sell a few pay-per-views. He probably thought to himself, as what Shane was saying, let me show you that I'm the stronger guy. There's also a little bit of frustration because I don't know if you saw, you guys, but in the lead up to the fight, Devin was saying he was pretty pissed off with Lomachenko because he wasn't promoting the fight. There's also, they've got a little bit of history because he called out Lomachenko about 3 years ago. Lomachenko declined the fight. So Devin's always felt that he ducked him.
Did you guys hear?
That kind of young man's energy, isn't it? It's that kind of young man's energy.
You guys hear about the because what we watched was just it wasn't the official weigh-in. You guys hear about the official weigh-in? I heard that Devin Haney missed weight twice on the scale.
I heard that as well, but that's not been officially.
It's not. Lomachenko said it. Lomachenko.
But that's just him. We don't know that. That's just him.
I know. I'm just saying. Did you guys hear that?
I did hear that. But I'm not taking too much. I'm not taking that too seriously because that's not official.
Mm-hmm.
It may be true. It may not be true.
Mind games from either guy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't really know.
Because basically, what happened was one of the fighters, I think it was Frank Martin, asked him about the weigh-in, and Lomachenko said, "Yeah, he missed weight twice." But we've not heard that officially or heard it from any other source. So until I hear it from any other source, I can't really make too much of that, to be honest.
Yeah. I see a lot of people in the chat here inquiring as to the start time of the main event. It probably will be within the next half an hour. You're likely to see ring walks. We're just going into the 9th round of the Valdez versus Lopez fight here. A very interesting fight. I know, Shane, you've had a keen eye on it. I've seen you jumping out of your chair a couple of times in this. What's been your thoughts so far on the fight?
Personally speaking, like, I'm not a big fan of Valdez for obvious reasons. You know, he's got the drugs. I don't want to call him a drugs cheat, but
he is a drugs cheat. You can call him a drugs cheat because he failed a drugs test.
Yeah.
So if you want to call him that, you can.
Allegedly.
No, he actually did fail a drugs test.
No, I know, but allegedly a cheat.
In terms of,
there's a difference here because, sorry to interrupt, but I think it's necessary to make this point. So if we talk about Manny Pacquiao, for years, many people speculated. No, let's be honest. Many people in the game have speculated that Manny Pacquiao is a drugs cheat, but he's never failed a drugs test. So you cannot say he's a drugs cheat, otherwise you liable to be sued, right? Mm-hmm. But with someone like Oscar Valdez, he has actually failed a drugs test when he fought Robson Conceicao.
Yeah.
Although we tried to make out like it was non-intentional, and you know all these fighters always say. You never hear a fighter admit it and say, "Yeah, I took it." They always come up with some excuse. But the facts, F-A-C-T-S, is that he failed a drugs test. So Shane, if you want to call him a drugs test, feel free, my friend.
Call him a drugs test. Call him a drugs cheat.
But yeah, in regards to this fight in particular, personally, I think the unofficial scorecards has it 5-3. I don't know how. I thought it's 4-4, but it's fine. It's swinging one round either way. But
either way, yeah, going into the last 2 rounds here, everything to play for.
I think, what's it called though? I think Lopez has actually come on really strong. And for me, like, Valdez has shown in the last few fights that down the stretch, not only is he easy to hit, but his work rate just drastically reduces. If you watch the first 2 rounds, he was just throwing so much punches. After that, his work rate slightly reduced, and he's getting outworked.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's the aggressor, so that might count for something.
And Lopez was on the floor early on in the round, but it was.
Is he still being trained by Eddie Reynoso?
Yeah,
the most overrated coach in boxing.
Ooh, what makes you think he's? What makes you come out with a wild statement like that one, Laurie? What makes you? What's got you cooking there, son?
Because he's over. This guy, people keep saying. I heard Eddie Hearn say the other day, I nearly fell off my chair. He described Eddie Reynoso as the best coach in boxing. Seriously, I nearly fell off my chair.
No life, my man.
Wow.
Well, just because he trains Canelo Alvarez, he's the best coach in boxing.
He makes Eddie Hearn the most money. That makes him the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fair enough. You know, fair enough.
The best coach in boxing is definitely not Eddie Reynoso.
That is an absolute joke. And anybody who knows anything about boxing will tell you that straight away.
Honest, Laurie, he might not even be the best coach in Mexico. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
When
you're talking about
if anyone is watching, let me know in the chat here what you guys think of the fight so far while you're watching along. And of course, get your predictions in for the main event. Devin Haney, Vasiliy Lomachenko. Who do you guys see raising their hand in victory?
Why is this not a 12-rounder?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Why is it not a 12-rounder? Does anyone know this in the chat? Does anyone know a potential reason why?
Is there a title on the line?
There isn't.
I know it's a rematch because Oscar Valdez beat this guy before. I must admit, I know what Shane's saying, but to me, from what I'm seeing here, Oscar Valdez, he's pressing the action. The little tippy-tap punches.
He won that last round.
He's not going to get it.
He won that last round. He definitely won that last round. Valdez won that last round.
So you have it 5-4 right now, Shane?
Yeah, 5-4.
To me, Valdez is winning the fight. He's making
He's winning.
Lopez is beating a hasty retreat. We all know in America they like aggressive. Oh, he just got rocked there as well. He's literally running away. You cannot win a fight running away. Oh, look, he's got caught. It's all Valdez at the moment.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
Did
going
anyone? I see people asking here about the Ali fight anywhere earlier. Did anyone manage to catch the end of that fight there?
I didn't even watch it.
Which
I was
Ali?
actually sleeping.
Nico Ali.
Nico Ali.
Yeah, I
I
saw
think
that
it
fight.
says
Yeah,
here, was it a draw? Split decision?
I think he won it. No, from what I saw, he deserved to win.
I believe here it's saying it was a draw split decision. Feel free to correct me if I am wrong, because again, I woke up and the fight had already happened, so I haven't actually seen it myself.
Did you guys see what happened with Andy Ruiz?
Yeah, his
What
wife.
you're in reference to?
He was pictured on Instagram, and he with big bags of weed in his hand.
Yeah.
And his ex-wife has come out and said that he drinks codeine, smokes weed, beats her up, hires prostitutes. Basically, really dished the dirt on him, man. And obviously, he's denied.
I'm so glad there's no lag here, because when you said he drinks codeine and smokes weed, I was about to say, so who cares? And then you said beats her up, and I was like, whoa, wait.
Yeah.
No, the truth is though, yeah, I remember when he joined that Reynoso camp, I was one of the first people to accuse him of being on something, because I remember he lost like 100 pounds in like 30 days.
Yeah.
Well, no, you'd usually presume performance enhancers. You wouldn't presume someone's been
No, Shane, it was Mexican meat.
Well, he was having a couple of medium
overrated coach in boxing. Seriously, it's as simple as that. Who else has he trained from the ground up? All those fighters that he's gained a reputation of. Canelo, Oscar Valdez, Ryan Garcia, and Andy Ruiz are all established pros. Yes, he made
Oscar Valdez. Yeah, Oscar Valdez walking away in celebration.
Yeah,
it was another knockdown in the round, but just like the one in the 9th, it has
know how that
judged to be a slip.
That should have been given a knockdown. Been given a knockdown.
Twice he's had his man on the canvas, and twice they've given it as a slip.
No, the one that just happened in the 10th round.
So he's clipped him. Is that a head? Oh, is that a clash of heads? I think it might have been a clash of heads. Yeah, it's a clash of heads. That's why it wasn't given as a knockdown. If you see, he's leaned into him there, and boom, he's taken a nasty headbutt to almost the nose area there.
I wonder how much Oscar Valdez has left, actually, because I can't see him being a champion again, to be honest.
At what weight class? No, maybe at 130, not at 135.
Definitely not 135. No chance. 130. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a viable proposition, but I think Shakur beat the shit out of him. Basically, I don't think he's. I mean, he will at a lower level. He will win fights, but I think we've seen the best of him.
130 isn't the greatest division, though, is it?
No.
I think he probably has this fight, though. Certainly looks like it.
Yeah, he won.
While we wait for the decision, Francisco in the chat said, speaking of trainers, what do you guys think about Ryan Garcia going with Derek James?
I think that's a good look.
It's only a good look if he allows Derek James to take control of his career in terms of training. If he's still doing this 3 times a week thing, then he might as well there's no coach that can work with it.
Would Derek James take him on if he didn't think that he was going to go full time?
You're not understanding, Shane. He sells tickets.
He does sell tickets, though. He does. Why do you guys? I don't get why you guys send strays for my man every single week. He sells tickets. He's doing everything right in the sport of boxing to make himself a star, to put boxing on the map. Okay, yeah, there's questions over his professionality. Yes, of course.
That's not everything right there. It's exactly the same. To answer Francisco, like Shane said, it's exactly the same as Chris Eubank Jr. as someone who's a talented athlete, but boxing-wise is limited and is not going to allow.
By the way, did you hear that Chris Eubank Jr. has brought David Hay on board?
We'll get to that, but
that's eyeballs. That's just eyeballs, man.
Ryan Garcia is still young. He's got plenty of time to learn if he decides to learn, and he may well choose not to. And that's like I said. I've said this before. I think the amount of money that he makes from social media is very good to sell PPV, to sell tickets to fights, and sell all that kind of stuff. But does that stop some of his drive when things get really, really tough? potentially, because he's not going to need those wins. He wants those wins, but he doesn't need those wins in the same way that someone else might.
Just to cut
I
in there,
think
Oscar
that
Valdez has just won by unanimous decision in the last fight.
Personally speaking, by the way, big up Francisco, man. I remember he used to subscribe and contribute to my son's channel, and he knows his stuff, so big him up.
Shout out yourself, mate.
Yeah, big up Francisco. What I would say about the Derek James hookup, I think Derek James is one of the best trainers currently in boxing, but it's down to Ryan Garcia. If he's going to commit and work hard and be dedicated, I think that would be a good move, because you've only got to look at some of the fighters that Derek James is currently training. He currently trains Errol Spence, Jamel Charlo, Anthony Joshua,
Martin.
Yeah, Frank Martin, and now Ryan Garcia. So immediately there's lightweight sparring there for him with Frank Martin. But you guys have already hinted at it. It's down to Ryan Garcia. Is he going to dedicate himself to this game, or is he going to be an Instagram model? It's down to him.
Yeah, but look, man, I'll say it once, I say it again. I'm not going to go over it because I'll make myself sound like a broken record here. I think people are very harsh to jump on him. You cannot excuse. You can't look. You cannot excuse not training enough. You can't excuse saying
so
that
why
you're
are you
training
doing
yourself
it
and that you're doing it 3 times a week. I don't know why he's doing it. I'm not.
No, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it?
I'm not excusing him. I'm just saying I don't get why people jump to the fact that
because he's not taking the game seriously enough.
That's true, but the two are not.
So why are you excusing it?
Just
then?
Because he's doing one thing well, it doesn't mean he can't
no,
also
but
take the game seriously.
James, you're excusing it. You just said so.
I'm not excusing it. I just think people are overly harsh on him for that reason. I think Nick, you raised one good point in that because he potentially has the financial security already. Is he going to have that hunger? There's a big argument, about fighters waking up in the silk sheets. Do they still have the hunger?
But one thing, when you're in a professional fight camp, you'll be training 6 times a week, maybe 7, and that 7th time might be recovery and different things. Like generally speaking, you're going to be in the gym 6 times a week. If he's in the gym 3 times a week, he is literally doing half the work of his colleagues and rival fighters. Now, we've seen him lose to Tank. Tank's a very good fighter. There's no shame in losing to him. But you as a Ryan Garcia fan, we're not jumping on him. We're just making a fair boxing assessment of where we're actually trying to help him. Where do we think he can get better? And we think he can get better by training more, because if he's going in there 3 times a week, that's not enough to go and fight at the elite level.
Absolutely. Okay. It is nowhere near enough. We're all in agreement. There is no disagreement
so why are you
there.
saying
My point is that people always bring in social media and the other things he does, and it's not the reason why though. Just because he's unprofessional, it's not just because of that. Someone can balance the two, and you're gonna spit your gums out for this comparison, and you're gonna hate me. One of the comparisons I will bring is KSI. I mean, that guy's got about as much money and social media clout as you can think. The guy's still, by definition of everyone you hear, training 6 or 7 times a week like an animal. So I'm not excusing what Ryan Garcia is doing at all, but I'm just saying I think it's harsh that you bring that side into it.
James, you can't halfway this thing, yeah?
I'm not halfway in it. I'm not halfway in it.
You're not being professional, or you're not. You can't say,
of course he's not being professional. I'm not saying that is professional.
Stop making excuses.
I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying I don't think that is fair. I think people
are capping
going
for
with
Ryan
it with
Garcia.
a bit of vim, personally.
You are a Ryan Garcia simp.
I'm not a Ryan Garcia simp. But on the comparison...
You said yourself, he needs to take it more seriously. Then in the very next sentence, you're saying people are being too harsh on him. They're
not harsh on that. I've got no problem with them criticizing that. I'm saying people would jump on that more than they would someone else because of the social media aspect. And he's got a rod for his own back. And the fact that, I mean, you guys, every time you talk about him, you can't get the words, you can't get these little quick hands and these things out of your mouth. If he was some nobody and he was fighting if he was jerking the curtain for someone and he was doing the same thing, no one would say anything. It's just
tell me who else is doing the same thing. Tell me who else.
No one. No one's doing what Ryan Garcia is doing. No one in his position and of his notoriety is doing what Ryan Garcia is doing. which, if
Listen.
anything, is testament of how far he's got himself with really menial training. The only one you can potentially bring in, like you said, is Chris Eubank Jr., who notoriously trained himself throughout his career. I did want to jump on Nick. Nick's gone into the chat himself to call me a Ryan Garcia simp here. What?
You are simple.
What's that good about? If you do see his channel, by the way, beautiful picture there. Go subscribe to Nick J.
You are
Francis.
absolutely
Go subscribe to all the
simping
boys
for
here.
Ryan Garcia.
I'm not simping. I'm not simping. But as I did want to get into, obviously, I did just touch on KSI there. He did get his fight overturned. We haven't really had much
No,
of
he
a
didn't
chance
get it
to speak
overturned.
about it. No, he didn't do it himself. The commission overturned the fight as a no contest for the elbow, not forearm. I believe they ruled it as an elbow.
Listen,
what,
elbow,
do you think
forearm.
it's fair that they overturned it?
No. Okay, listen. Okay, you can overturn it on moral grounds, but we all know, man. What are they going to do? Have a rematch? And we're going to
listen.
Do you want to see a rematch?
No. I'll tell you why it's good. I'll tell you why it's good that they overturned it, right? I know none of us want to see KSI v Joe Fournier again. I know that. But Simpy McSimpy, for real. Simpy McSimperson, bro. But no, I think the reason that it's we all look at this YouTube boxing, or we all started off looking at this YouTube boxing as a bit of a sham. And to be honest with you, it still is a bit of a sham. It's nowhere near.
I was about to say that.
But this helps it have a little bit more integrity as far as I'm concerned. I actually think it helps it from a professionalism perspective, that it's not just the KSI show and he could run around and do exactly what he wants. They are treating it as though it's a professional boxing match, because in a professional boxing match, that may well be overturned. And that's what they're trying to display. They're trying to get as close to professional boxing as possible, albeit the people in the ring are not of the level of some professional boxers. So I actually think it's quite a good thing. You know, it's not good because it probably, if there's a rematch, it delays the fight that people want to see. But it is good, I think, for the longevity of social media boxing. For that,
I will tell you for a fact there will not be a rematch. Nobody wants to see that. That was going one way. I mean, you've got. He's doing a flipping. He's doing a press tour basically about the fact that the decisions got overturned. He can't stop himself from going crazy about it, and Joe Fournier is probably the best thing that's happened to him. He's avoided humiliation.
That's actually done Joe Fournier a favor.
It's done a massive favor for him, because now he doesn't have to fight him, but he can go and claim, "Oh, I would have smoked him in the rematch. I'm still undefeated."
Because we all saw what happened. It wasn't remotely competitive, right? And to be fair, all four of us said this before the fight, that KSI would smoke him, and that's exactly what he did. Don't let that little forearm elbow thing fool people. He was on his way to getting absolutely smoked, laid out cold. So yeah, even though it's been declared a no contest, which technically I can understand, because yes, there was a forearm stroke elbow. But let's not be under any illusion here. He was on his way to knocking out Joe Fournier, laying him out cold. So that overturning has actually done Joe Fournier a favor.
Mate, that could have saved years off his life. The fact that elbow happened so quickly, because he was about to get brutally stopped. He was in his prime. Look at those bottles behind me, man. Do you know how long it's taken me to get my hands on one of those? It's taken a year. I actually finally found some in my local co-op today. I got 3. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. They were £2 each in my co-op. There was like 3 bottles left. I just swiped every single bottle, mate.
There's loads.
I thought you were going to get me, James.
Proper number 12.
A bottle of proper
there it is, mate. It's right there next to it. Can you not see? You've got the 3 bottles of Prime there, and I was going to save it for the main event, but can you have a fight night without the face of the fight game? Proper number 12.
Who the fuck is that guy?
The smoothest Irish whiskey on the planet, yeah? So shut your mouth.
My man's calling out Canelo.
He would smoke Canelo. But what were you going to say, Shane?
I was going to say, like, obviously we're going towards the main event now, so Like, what's you guys' methods of victory for each fighter?
Well, you
Lomachenko and Devin.
stole the words out of my mouth. They are singing the
Ukraine
national
national
anthems here, the
anthem.
Ukraine national anthem. So it is only a matter of time. Get your predictions in the chat. Let's get some hype going for this fight. Yeah, everyone's up here at 4:30 a.m. for a reason. So let us know where you're watching it from. Are you staying up late like us from the UK? You're watching it from America, Australia, India, Uzbekistan. Where are you watching from? I do really want to know. And of course, as Shane said, what your methods are for victory for either people. First of all, I want to just get who you guys think is going to win. First of all, do you guys think it's going to be the young man Haney, or do you think Lomachenko still has some gas in the tank to pull through?
I'll go first, given that I'm the expert on boxing as appointed by you.
Bro, you guys are the waste men for that. I swear to God.
I'm going Haney on points. That's my personal opinion. However, I honestly feel, and I said this on the DR Boxing Weekly show, that if it's close, they're going to try and do a Katie Taylor and give it to Lomachenko. So I think what Devin needs to do, we know what his strengths are. He's the younger, stronger, longer, bigger guy. He's got to use his jab. And it's not just about the jab. He's got to throw some combinations. He's got to keep Loma at bay, because if he allows a Loma to get inside, then that could be a problem for him, because I do think Loma is a very good inside fighter. What Devin needs to do is establish the jab, win the early rounds. I think that Lomachenko will start to come on in the middle rounds and make a late charge. Devin has to have enough in the tank, given that he's the younger guy, to see off Lomachenko late. I can't see him seriously hurting Lomachenko, but I can see him buzzing him a few times. And I think he can win. But where I'm worried for Haney is that if it's close, trust me, they're going to stiff him on the cards. Bit like what they were planning to do to Chantel Cameron tonight against Katie Taylor.
Wow. Well, huge allegations flying around there. I will get
it's not an allegation, bro.
I will get to you in a minute, Nick, because
listen, we all know, all four of us know what I'm talking about. We all know about the dark arts of boxing.
Hey, like we said, allegedties. I'm not trying to get sued.
Bro,
You're not trying to get sued. We're all just here to have a good time.
No, but what Laurie's saying,
I know what you're saying. Look, there's hints. There is subtle hints of truth to it. I must agree. But hey, we're not here to divulge on that. Like I said, Nick, we did watch Boxing Talk. We got your points. I know you somewhat agree with some of the stuff that he pointed out about Devin Haney. So we will get to you after. Shane.
James, just quickly, did you see the Chantel Cameron Katie Taylor fight?
No, I told you I was asleep.
Right. Okay. So what did I say in the BR Boxing Weekly show about if that fight was close?
Then it would go to
Chantel Cameron.
Of course, right? And it was the home fight. But as Nick
Chantel
said,
Cameron, hang on. Let me finish. Chantel Cameron, Nick will tell you he watched the fight. She won pretty much all the rounds. Yet still one of the judges had it a draw. And that's what I'm saying.
We don't dispute this. We don't dispute this.
Hang on. Let me finish. Do not underestimate how powerful politics is in boxing. So that's why I said what I said about Devin Haney and Lomachenko tonight.
Mate, politics is more important in boxing than it is in the White House right about now. But as we were talking about, that was the fight that happened earlier. We're talking about the fight that's happening right here, right now. Hopefully we don't see some alleged screw job of refereeing or judging, really. But Shane, I haven't heard your points on the fight, really. I don't know who you think's going to win. Who is it? Which way are you swinging?
In agreement with Laurie, I 100% agree in the sense that we know what happens. He didn't sign a long-term deal with Top Rank. So Top Rank, if it's close, they're going to give it to the house fighter. We know that. But for me, I'm always going to go Team Haney. But I'm not just going, but I am worried about this fight. Because for me, there's a few things Lomachenko does that I don't think there's a few things Lomachenko does that's better than Devin Haney, point blank, period. But there's also a few things that Lomachenko does that judges like, that can win some rounds, which I think
elaborate on what those few things are.
So as we've seen Lomachenko early in fights, he might just take his time and just get an eye on for the timing, the speed, the pace of the fight. He's not going to go out gun ho. But once he gets the range and the speed well, he's going to be able to go on the inside and work. And even shots that are cuffing punches, shots that aren't really concussive, or even landing that clean, he's going to get the points for. If you don't know what I'm referring to, if you watch the Jermaine Ortiz fight, after 8 rounds, I had Jermaine Ortiz winning that fight. I don't know how everybody else had it, but I had Jermaine Ortiz winning. But when he went to the scorecards, it weren't that close, which I don't know how. And for me, in this fight, he's going to try and do the same thing. The difference is, though, Devin Haney is one of the best fighters at winning rounds. And he does it the same way. And I know people don't like it, and he may be ugly, but he's going to jab his way through the fight, walk Lomachenko down, and just every time Lomachenko tries to cross that line, he's going to tie him up and physically impose himself. I know some people are going to be saying that Lomachenko's got the experience and all of that, and Devin Haney can't hurt Lomachenko. But I would also say Lomachenko can't hurt Devin, because for me, it's for the smaller man to go out there and try and get on the inside and knock Devin Haney out. Devin Haney don't have to knock Vasiliy Lomachenko out, because for me, Devin Haney can just box his way to a 12-round points decision. Lomachenko has to go out there and do something to disrupt Devin Haney. Devin Haney don't have to do anything to disrupt Loma.
Mm-hmm. I think we are just about to get to the ring walks here. I believe this is Vasiliy Lomachenko's ring walk about to happen. The fight is moments away. It's time to get excited. But before he's actually in the ring, sorry, they cut out his entire ring walk there. But before we do get too hyped and carried away, it's only right that we bring in the self-proclaimed, in fact, proclaimed by the masses to be the voice of reason, Nick. Cut this fight down the middle for me. Tell me exactly how it's going to go. I don't want a prediction. I want a spoiler.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are calling. Yeah, I think we know there's going to be some controversy tonight, and I think that's part of the appeal of the fight in a weird sort of way. Yeah, I think Haney can be his own worst enemy. I think when he's on his best game, he's one of the best fighters in the world. Like Shane said, especially at winning rounds. But lapses of concentration. He can be, like I say, overconfidence, just having a little bit of experience. When he's going to win some of the early rounds, because we know that Ukrainian style, they're going to take time to collect data and start to get their distance and their range. And what he can't do is win 3 or 4 rounds and start to think, this is easy. This guy's nothing. He needs to understand this is him collecting data. He's going to give you these rounds. Don't start rushing in and being aggressive like certain other Mexican fighters that we won't name. But you know, when they give up this, because it can really, okay, all jokes aside, that's what happened with Ryan Garcia. He won some rounds against Tank because that's how Tank fights, and he got confident. He won a round, and then he got overconfident and thought, actually, I can go in and take this. And yeah, you know, I think Haney might need a stoppage. I don't know if he'll get it. I don't think he will.
Why does he need a stoppage?
Why does he need it? Because if it goes to the cards and it's not clear in a way, I had the Chantel Cameron fight 8-2. Laurie had it 8-2, and we gave Katie Taylor different rounds, but we had it 8-2, and one judge gave it a draw. If he doesn't win convincingly,
Lomachenko's not in the ring. Lomachenko.
No, he is doing his ring walk. They did some weird camera angle where they showed that he was in the ring, and now he's doing his ring walk again. Sky just.
But yeah, it's yeah. If it's not like 8-2, and one of the judges gave it a draw. So if he doesn't win it by a considerable margin, and like you guys said, it's going to come down to the championship rounds, because we know he's going to win some of the early rounds, and then we're pretty confident that Loma's going to start taking rounds in the middle.
Lomachenko can't afford to wait until the back end of the fight to win the fight. Let me tell you why, yeah? It's because we've never really seen Devin Haney tire in a fight. We actually saw Teofimo Lopez tire a few times. Even when he fought Nakatani down the stretch, he didn't look as fresh. For me, he tried to take Jermaine Ortiz and Teofimo into deep waters and drown them. He can't do that with Devin Haney for the reason that I think is, if you try and test Devin Haney's gas tank down the stretch, for me, if Devin Haney's output and work rate is able to maintain and stay the same way all the way through, and as you did say, concentration, those rounds that I think personally Teofimo not gave up, but he was much easier to defeat. Devin's not giving you that. And I would also say Devin defensively is probably the best fighter Lomachenko's ever fought.
Yeah, I
well,
do agree with a lot of what Shane says there. And I also, there was something that I thought about in the lead up to this fight. Mickey Bay, who's a former world champion, he used to train Devin Haney. And there was something that he said that I saw in an interview that kind of stuck with me. He said, he described Devin Haney as the most competitive and dedicated fighter that he'd ever come across. So when you consider that Mickey Bay trained with Floyd and all those guys out of that Mayweather gym, to me, that says something for a guy so young. And he said that Devin Haney, when he was training Devin Haney, he wanted to win all the training runs, all the sparring. You know what I mean? So he
well,
was.
it's funny you talk about his mentality. A rather unusual thing for a lot of fighters here. Devin Haney is walking out alone, completely alone. You won't see barely any fighters do that. A lot of them like their
This guy's
entourage
doing
around
the
them. They like
opposite of Liverpool right now. You know,
Huh?
he's doing the opposite of a Liverpool
He
fan
is
right
doing
now.
it, but he is, and can I say, as someone here in the chat, Toby touched on, he looks ice cold right now. He looks ice cold and clinical. We've got 197 people in here watching. The main event is about to start, but only 65 whole. Damn, like shout out to you, 65 brothers and sisters. But let's get those numbers up. Let's try and get to triple digits.
So as I was
before the fight
saying, so Devin Haney's coming to this ring tonight, 24 years old, not quite in his physical prime, but approaching it. Whereas Loma, we can all agree, I'm pretty much sure we all agree that Loma is past his prime physically. He's also the smaller man,
late 30s, yeah.
right? So Devin Haney has a lot of advantages, and he has to use those. But where I think the fight will be decided is that Haney has to win his rounds big, because I think there's a lot of sentiment going with Lomachenko. You only got to go online and see some of the comments. People like Tim Bradley, Andre Ward,
Yeah,
fighters, ex-fighters, YouTube influencers.
pretty much
Everybody
everyone.
wants Lomachenko to win. And this is what I'm saying. If the fight is close, I'm worried that they're going to stiff Devin. But I do think he will do enough on the night to win the fight. But I also think, like what Nick was saying, is that this fight will be competitive. I'm expecting Devin to win the early rounds fairly comfortably. But at some point, Lomachenko will download the data, as Nick said, and he will start to try and push the action, and he will start to win rounds. And I think that this fight will be decided from rounds 9 through till 12. For me, that will be where the fight is won.
The
There's one
championship
thing. There's
rounds,
one
mate,
thing
the
away
championship
from.
rounds. Sorry, Nick, I don't want to stop you too much here, but the fight is about to start, and before we do let that bell go, I do want to jump into the Taylor the tapes. You were talking about Devin Haney's advantages here. The age is obviously 24 years of age for Devin Haney, 35 for Vasiliy Lomachenko. Just the 1 inch height advantage for Devin Haney, but a 5.5 inch reach advantage, 71 inches to 65.5 inches.
And as Shane was saying, don't
Devin
forget the
Haney.
weight advantage, because once Devin rehydrates, he's going to be significantly bigger on the
Absolutely,
night.
and he does look the more physically opposing man in the ring early doors, as it said. Obviously, a 29-0 record for Devin Haney, as opposed to Lomachenko's 17-2, 50 knockouts to 11, and he is the betting favorite. But
You know what's intriguing for me about this fight? You know what's
a lot of
intriguing
things
for
are
me about
intriguing
this
about it.
fight? What's intriguing for me about this fight is, can Devin Haney at any stage hurt Lomachenko? I think if he can hurt him, it's a done deal. I really do. Can he do that? Because he's not a big puncher.
I think what's the most intriguing is, can Devin Haney keep a handle on his emotions? He's come out walking alone. He missed the entrance. I don't know if
that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean nothing.
But let me just say, I think for me, he looks.
Lomachenko came out alone.
He looks a little bit more nervous.
Nah,
I think he does. I want to see. If he's not nervous, that's great. I want him to win, but I want to see if he can keep a handle on that concentration and keep a handle on his emotions. I think no matter what happens, Lomachenko is probably going to be the more composed fighter and the person who's going to be able to be calm and think his way through different situations.
Well, he's the more experienced, yeah. Sure.
Of course, do you know what I mean? So that's the place that I really worry about Devin Haney.
I'd be so surprised if anyone can, either fighter lands anything to the point where they're gonna be on the verge of a stoppage. I
think if Devin can hurt Lomachenko early, it's an easy fight for him because then he can keep him on the end of the jab. And then obviously Lomachenko, because that's how Teofimo Lopez beat Loma. He was able to hurt or buzz Loma early. So then Loma was very speculative about getting inside, and he only did that late. He made a late charge. And as Shane was saying, Teofimo Lopez, his gas tank kind of betrayed him a little bit down the stretch. Mm-hmm. But we all know that Devin is a finely tuned, very well-conditioned athlete. I'm not worried about him going the distance. What I'm thinking is if Haney can hurt Loma early or keep him respectable, you know what I mean? You know when I say that, when he can touch him up to the point where Loma is speculative about coming inside, then it's his fight.
I agree. I personally see Devin Haney winning this fight. I actually see him winning it by decision. I know you're saying yourself that
I'm scoring it
does go to the judges' scorecard. Yeah, make sure you guys score along with us. I know you were saying if you see it going to the judges' scorecard, then you potentially see him getting stiffed. For me,
no. What I'm saying is,
Nick. I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about you, Laurie. I'm talking about Nick here, who did say that you could see him getting stiffed. I do see it going to the scorecard, but I don't see him getting stiffed.
If it's close,
I don't matter how much they try and screw him. I do see it going Devin Haney's way.
If it's close, they're going to screw him, just like what they tried to do to Chantel Cameron. The only reason why Chantel Cameron won that fight is because it wasn't close in the final analysis. Yeah, if it was close, she would have lost. And the reason why I say that is you can tell because one of the judges had it a draw. A bit like when Floyd fought Canelo, won literally every round. One of the judges had it to Canelo. That's what I'm saying. So that's what Devin Haney's got to do tonight is win and win well. Because if it's close...
I think he will. I don't think it will. I personally don't think it will be that close of a fight. I think Devin Haney has too many advantages in his corner. And as you said, with all the amateur fights that Lomachenko's had going into this stage of his career, even though professionally he hasn't had as many fights, but because of the fact that he's had that many amateur fights, it
must admit I can't wait for
toll
this
on your body at this point.
I'm actually excited.
Same here.
Here we go.
I think
the main event has started. We are underway. Round 1. Devin Haney, Vasiliy Lomachenko. Let's get some of this down here. Eh? Let's get some.
Straight away, you can see that Haney's the bigger man.
I said that.
That's some good stuff right there. He is. He's taking center ring. Is Devin Haney here?
Well, that's a good shot by Devin.
Good jab to the body. Yeah. Oh, that whiskey.
I'm really interested into this, boy. This is intriguing. This is so intriguing.
Great matchup. Shout out the matchmaker, which actually brought in a point earlier. Who do you guys think potentially is the better matchmaker? Eddie Hearn's Matchroom or Top Rank?
Top Rank by far.
They've certainly been.
I don't know. Worldwide, you could make a case for Matchroom. You know, worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide. I think they have the acclaim, and they do have the. I want to say they have more funding behind them, like better infrastructure.
Yeah, they do.
What's so funny? Yeah, when Lomachenko's trying to collect data, his footwork is just so active. Like he just does a lot of movement.
Yeah, he's got brilliant footwork.
He is.
And that's
his age as well to move the way he does.
Do you think it's a game plan that Devin Haney's just purposely targeting the body, like trying to slow him down for the back end of the fight?
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, I think so. Because obviously his footwork and his movement's always been one of his best attributes, Lomachenko.
But Devin Haney has good footwork as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got the natural athleticism, obviously, because he's just faster.
It's a decent
round.
What
do you guys think about the whole fighting on the break, fighting dirty comments that Devin's made this week?
No, I think what Haney was doing there was just trying to gain an advantage with the ref.
I think
That
he
was
did
mind
though.
games.
The ref warned Loma against holding back in the dressing room. So
Lomachenko's actually made a
He's
better
got him in
start
it. He's
than I
almost had him in a
thought.
headlock there.
Lomachenko's been a bit more active than I thought he might be.
He's been more active, especially with his
Yeah.
feet as well.
But I still think Devin is marginally doing the better work.
do you think that's part of Devin Haney's tactics, that he's got Loma to come in and engage earlier because he's going to have stamina?
I get that feeling as well, you know.
Yeah,
because
he's got Loma to engage. He can attack the body, and if he can do some damage to the body in the home straight, he's going to be able to dominate him.
What I want to
Roughed
see
him up
though
in the
is,
clinch there. Second time he's had to break it.
in the clinches, I want to see Devin Haney like constantly show that he's strong.
He's been clipped, mate. Lomachenko's coming out firing, all guns blazing, podcast style in this first round. What an opening round to the fight. How do you guys have that one swinging?
I had that an even round.
I didn't.
I thought Haney was going to have a lot more success in the opening exchanges of this fight. Personally, Lomachenko coming out well. Will he be?
Lomachenko's come out way faster than I thought he would.
Yeah,
to be fair to
will he be
Lomachenko,
able to keep up that intensity as the fight goes into the later rounds?
But he did say before the fight that he needs to start faster than he normally does, and I think he did that. I think Devin won the first half of the round, but I think that Lomachenko probably won the second half of the round. There wasn't a whole lot landed, but I'm going to give that as an even round.
Mm-hmm. And he was. You were talking about the clinches. He was actually bullying Devin Haney almost in the clinch. Maybe bullying's.
No, it's because Devin Haney keeps dipping his head.
He does keep
dipping his head.
Also, I've given that first round to Lomachenko personally.
I gave that to Lomachenko as well. So,
but I think it was split. Half the round was dominated by Devin, half the round was dominated by Loma. But the half that was dominated by Loma was a lot more active and accurate than the half that was dominated by.
And Haney. I think Lomachenko's got Devin fighting to Devin fighting to his pace. I really don't want to see Devin do that constantly, because for me, one thing he's doing, he's dipping his head a lot. When he was establishing that center ring, Lomachenko was doing a lot of movement. But then in between rounds, I see Lomachenko doing a lot of heavy breathing. So I don't know.
Can Lomachenko keep this up?
Good
body shot.
He's been rocked there, though. Yeah, that's the problem with him. If he uses too much energy too early on, as he gets into the later rounds, he could actually be in serious trouble of getting stopped. But
I don't
Devin
think
Haney again ducking his head and getting pushed down in the clinch. Actually, what you said, thinking Garcia should have done to Gervonta Davis. When
exactly. These are the type of things that Devin Haney dipping his head all the time. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating.
Don't forget as well, Lomachenko being a southpaw, that will present a different type, because that can take your jab away as an orthodox fighter.
Definitely.
But it's shaping up to be a good fight so far. Devin's having a better round.
Great chess match here.
Much better round, yeah.
Oh, beautiful slip by Haney and followed up with the right hook there.
It's because he's holding his feet center ring. He's not doing the whole moving that he done the first time, trying to stick to Lomachenko's pace. Just hold center ring.
Yeah, as the physically imposing person, he has to command the ring a little bit more.
Literally, he's giving up too much real estate for me.
Who?
Haney.
In the first round, Haney was giving up too much real estate.
He's catching him though as Lomachenko comes
good shot
in
by Lomachenko.
Yeah, good shot. Right as I was saying that, Haney dropped back, hit him with a counter right hand, but Lomachenko now with a flurry of uppercuts of his own, pushing Haney back, but Haney back on the front foot there, taking center ring.
It's such a technical fight, this fight, honestly. So much of it. It's about foot placement. For people that are watching this that aren't super boxing diehards or haven't boxed themselves, this is the real importance of hand placement, foot placement. That's what's going to create the gaps for you to throw your punches.
Because Devin has to get his lead foot outside of Lomachenko's. He's done it at times, but he's not been able to sustain it because Lomachenko.
But you know why? Because Loma's stepping left, right every time. He's not giving him the same angle of his feet.
I think this is a better round for Devin, but it's still very competitive.
Still a very good round for Lomachenko.
To the body a lot. Oh, good shot by Devin. Oh, good.
He is, but every time he does, Lomachenko's coming back.
Devin's doing better in this round.
He is. Yeah, he is.
I think
He's getting
Devin's won
clipped
this
though.
round.
He's getting clipped
Yeah,
with
yeah.
some big shots by Lomachenko.
Yeah, I'd give Haney the second round for sure.
Well, it is the end of the second round. I don't think it's harsh to say a 1-1 on the scorecards. Like you say, both rounds very close. Personally, I'd have edged the first one to Lomachenko, second one to Devin Haney.
You know what? I think
Either
Devin's
one could
almost surprised that
argue both ways.
Lomachenko's come out so fast.
I think
Yeah,
so.
I would agree with that. I would agree. Because I don't know. The only thing I don't know which of you guys said it, but you were right. It might have been Shane when you said that, yes, he's made this fast start, but at 35 years old, can he keep that going throughout the 12?
Yeah. No.
Devin
like
has
said, it's
done
very,
a
very
very,
unlikely.
very good job at investing into the body early as well. Like
Yeah,
he's
that's
thrown
true.
a lot of body shots.
He has,
I
and then
think-
that's going to suck the energy out going into the later rounds as well. And his punch resistance, like I said, I know professionally he hasn't had that many fights, but to have that many amateur fights, that takes a big toll on your body. Toby LeBron here, 1-1. Loma 2, what a finish. Haney is the better boxer, but Loma is no joke. Haney needs to wake up. Wake up. And
I think he's awake.
Yeah,
I
I
also
just-
think he's awake. I think personally you're just looking at a case of two boxers trying to download the data in these early rounds. And I mean, they marketed it as a huge chess match, and that's exactly what this is.
Well, look, the positive for Devin Haney is that so far they've been boxing pretty equally, but he'll take that because physically he's the superior person, right? He's fitter, he's younger, he's stronger, so he'll take that.
I just want to see him impose that a little bit more, like that. Those
I think
physical
that what Devin's doing well is going to the body. I think is a good investment for the later
for
rounds.
down the stretch. I know, definitely.
And
He's landed so many good body shots in this fight.
It's a beautiful investment. I wanna add in on that investment. I want to make some return on that investment. It's so good.
Devin's
Here he is
pushing
now.
out.
But in the clinches,
Up the energy a
he's
bit.
got to be stronger in the clinches. He's got to be stronger.
His clinch game is definitely the biggest weakness. Not just in this fight, but generally speaking, he's not comfortable. He's such a pure boxer. He doesn't really want to be clinching.
No, but I've seen him, like, even in the Linares fight, he will at least try and push his opponent back to the ropes. He hasn't really tried to do that.
He hasn't, but it's very hard to do. I mean, Lomachenko is just even able to get Haney's back there in the clinch. He's getting outdone.
I will say this, though.
Lomachenko's too slick in there.
I will say this, though. Devin Haney's much better on the inside than I thought he would be.
Yeah.
But again, there he is. He's ducking and hugging again. Oh, it looked like almost an elbow there from Lomachenko. I think the glove hit the back of the head.
Forearm.
Oh, man.
This is a very competitive fight early.
It is, but
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
you're starting to see the energy of Devin Haney starting to wear Lomachenko down a little bit.
Nah,
Couple
not
of
yet.
breaths
not
from
yet.
the mouth.
No,
Not
not
yet,
yet. But what I
but you're
will
starting
say
to
is,
see
though,
the early signs of it.
They both have amazing ability to pivot. I've seen in this round alone 3 pivots where they both countered each other's pivot, where they tried to open up the angle and the other one's just done the exact same thing, the
Good
exact
shot
same
by
time.
Lomachenko there. This is a good fight, man.
If one of these
For a
guys had a
chess
bit
match.
more power, this fight would be looking dangerous right now because they've both been connecting with some clean shots.
I think Loma's
You
probably
can't
right.
have everything in it. You can't have everything.
Yeah, exactly.
This is coming to the closing stages of the third round here. I think for me personally, I'd put this round in favor of Devin Haney. I think
I
I would go Haney just.
I'd
Yeah.
go
I
Haney
think,
this
yeah.
round.
I would say,
Lomachenko.
I'll be honest, bro. It's one of those rounds where if Haney didn't win the round, he won it in terms of the war because he landed some real good body shots, which takes away the stamina down the stretch. I think the body work has been fantastic from Devin.
I think is it's very competitive, and it's been 3 close rounds, but I think that Devin Haney just edged that round. I see Lomachenko, he is blowing a little bit on his stool. He's putting.
I'm
I
saying,
think-
man, he's breathing out of his
think
mouth.
Loma
He's
might
starting
have
to
won
tire,
that
man.
round. I think Loma might. You can edge Loma on that round.
I think it was close, but like you said, because of the physical dominance starting to show, because of the fact that Lomachenko looks like he's starting to tire for me, I think Devin Haney played the
But-
fight exactly how he
but you-
wanted.
you
in
know
the
what?
third round there.
Absolutely perfect. Yeah.
Devin probably
got that
can
round.
feel that, you know, because when you see Laurie, you know this. In fact, well, all of you guys have fought. You know when a fighter is getting tired because you can feel it just based on how fast they are and how quick they respond to your shots. For me,
And
they
how
both
desperate they are to get into the clinch.
Yeah, come round. I think round 5, 6, 7. This Loma's pace is going to start to slow down, and
then
Devin Haney's pace won't. And that's
No.
going to
yeah, Devin,
we're
Devin,
going to
and
see
Devin.
4,
I
5,
think
and 6.
Devin is a much better slow pace fighter than Loma as well. Where the fight isn't pretty much high paced, and Devin can just walk.
Devin invest into the body. I like that.
Mhm.
I said that from the first round.
He's trying to rip that uppercut as well. He's just not quite connecting with it. Actually, funny. Don Kravitz says, for me, it feels like Loma is faster than Haney. I mean, arguably in the first round, he looked more technically proficient. He looked slicker. He's getting a better work off, but I don't think so, man. He's looking a
In
little
trust
bit
matches
leggy
like
for
this,
me
it's
right now.
really, really hard to score. You need to do
It
something
is,
big
yeah.
to swing it.
There's been no dominant round so far. No one's dominated.
I can see why people might think that Loma looks quicker because Loma has the quicker feet. They've both got very good footwork, but Loma's in and out very, very fast, just in terms of his feet. You know, I don't know if he's got the quicker hands, but his feet definitely, and he's
Yeah.
shooting more. So
Devin's done a lot of body work though.
Yeah.
You clowns know nothing. Loma will win. Shade 60, as his name suggests. Throwing the shade, mate. Throwing the shade. Loma is knackered. Wow, Haney. Watch Devin when he gets clinched. He's gonna catch Loma with his head as his head forces up vicious. Couple of people now saying they think
You
it's
know
gonna
what,
be a
though?
clash of heads.
I actually think Loma's slowly tiring, you know.
I
Loma,
honestly think I
He
think
is.
that I think Loma
Those
so
body
far-
shots are definitely going in.
But I think Loma so far has been the aggressor and connected more in this round. I've been tempted to score it to Loma so far this round, but I think round 6, 7, 8.
Whoa!
No.
Why?
I think Haney's won this round so
I
far.
think Haney's winning this round. Loma hasn't really done anything, especially the.
He looks
for
like
me-
is he bleeding from the nose as well?
Who? Haney or
No,
Lomachenko?
Loma.
No, not from what I can see.
This fight is slowly going the way Haney wants it to go.
Yeah, he's
Where
backing it up
Haney-
a little bit. This is a good little passage. Oh,
Oh, he's right. This is what I'm saying about the clinch, mate. Lomachenko has just thrown Devin Haney to the ground.
this
It's
is what I
great,
was
it's a great
saying. This is
takedown.
what I was saying on the
But
DR
the
Boxing
wrong
Weekly
sport.
show about Haney, Lomachenko. When he gets inside, it's not so much that he's backing off a bit now. This is definitely
Not
Haney's
that
round.
he's the
I don't know what
strongest, but he knows how to manipulate Haney's body as he's
Devin
coming in. He knows how
Haney-
to manipulate his momentum. He literally got his back earlier, and now
I
he's.
think this is a
throwing
good
him
round
onto
for
the
Haney.
floor.
That was
That's a good
I've been giving this round to Haney, to be honest.
I don't know, man. That little takedown there might have swayed my opinion a little
Hey,
bit.
if it's not UFC,
I know, but you know that those kind of things can still play into someone's head. When
Nah,
someone's
this is a
throwing you
Haney
down to the
round to me.
canvas, it does still it can play a little bit. But I don't think I think you guys are being a little bit harsh on Lomachenko.
I think
now.
that was a
think he
good
was
round
bit
for
better
Haney,
than-
to be honest.
I thought round 3 was better for Haney personally than that round.
I got it 2-2.
Same. I have it 2-2. I just have it in a different order to you.
I'm sorry, I've got it 3-1 Lomachenko.
Woo!
You thought Loma won that round?
I do, yeah.
I thought Loma won that round.
I think Loma won that round.
Well, I guess, bro,
Good job.
Loma was getting backed up and pushed back, body shots landing the whole way through. I thought Loma lost that round. I thought that was
Yeah.
probably Haney's best round.
Yeah, I felt so as well. I felt so.
well, I feel
I thought that
it's
was
harsh
Haney's
going
best round.
3-1 Haney though, because I think the last round could have gone anyway, and I think this
I
one.
thought round 3 was
anything.
Loma, round 4 was Haney. I thought Haney won that round comfortably, and I think even Loma, at the end of it, even gave up some of the round.
It's a good fight, though. That's one thing.
Very, very good fight.
It's not a
Yeah.
good fight. It's a great fight. It is a mouth-watering fight, a scintillating fight. In fact,
Very
I'm catching
technical.
fire watching it through the screen.
It's very technical, but it's very good as well. Very into a good body shot by Haney there.
I'm telling you with these body shots. I'm telling you.
And again,
It is both men committing as well, which is great.
This is better. This is better from Devin Haney. Not better, but this is exactly what we want to see.
I,
Also,
for
Max,
me,
Max
the
Kellerman
last
exactly how that happened.
4 minutes, Devin Haney's been clearly the better fighter.
Yeah, he's definitely growing into it. I think he's getting frustrated with Lomachenko's clinch game, though. Lomachenko there again clinched him up, and Devin Haney, it looks like it's starting to anger him a little bit.
Oh, good shot by Haney.
Beautiful body shot by Haney there.
The unofficial
Yeah,
scorecard,
good headshot.
the unofficial scorecard is 2-2. So
2-2. I can't argue with that. And again, Lomachenko, he's clipped him with a hook there, and he's got his back.
Oh,
Like
good work.
He's rushing in, and he's got him against the ropes. It looked like he hurt Haney there.
No, he didn't hurt him, but it was a good little spell of.
I'll be interested to know Lomachenko's if he has a good wrestling background or something here.
No, he
yeah,
does.
he does. He has wrestling background.
Because that's
Oh, good shot by
working
Haney.
his way through the body really well.
Yeah, Haney
He's
needs
been put
needs
to the
press.
canvas there,
Lomachenko-
though, but it's a push.
Lomachenko is stronger than I thought he was. I'll keep it real. He is stronger
No,
than
but
I
I
thought.
did tell you that he's. I tried to tell you, man.
Yeah,
That,
Laurie said it at the show.
Are you talking about in the clinch though?
yeah,
in the
it's
clip,
just,
yeah.
It's because like you say, he's not bullying him strength wise, but he's utilizing Devin Haney's momentum as he's going in.
What
Like,
what
he's
what
utilising
Lomachenko has
Devin
is what
Haney
we
forcing
call
in.
dynamic strength. In that he's not bulky, but he knows how to use his body to get the optimum out of it in terms of strength work, and that's what we're seeing here.
That's the wrestling background you're talking about there. That's where it's coming in.
Dynamic strength and good shot by
technique.
Loma there.
Beautiful.
These rounds are, I must admit, they're hard to score, man.
Very.
But good
Like
little
that
stuff
round,
for
this
Haney.
round here,
It's
bro,
a good
it's on
little
a
stuff for
knife
Haney.
edge.
Haney needs to battle. Good shot.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have Lomachenko winning this round personally.
No.
Stages.
To me, Haney's backing
This
him
is
up.
a hard round to score.
No, but right now Haney's backing him up. But in the first minute and a half,
No,
Lomachenko
the first
was
minute,
one.
Devin Haney landed like 3 body shots.
Nah. I've got to disagree with you on that one.
I don't know.
I've actually got
I
a
think
3-3
it's
Loma.
right.
I think that's an even round for me.
I don't like giving even rounds, so I have to choose a winner.
So who would you go for?
I don't know.
I'm giving that round to Haney on the basis that he started the stronger, then Lomachenko got his legs into the round, and then Haney finished the round stronger as well. So overall, I think across that 3 minutes, Devin Haney was more dominant, but I think Loma was dominant for the middle minute, but not enough to take the round.
Middle minute.
You know what?
In that middle minute,
He's the
he did look
champion, so
dangerous.
I'm giving it to Haney.
I think Haney just about
Loma's
nicked
round.
it, but
He's the champion, so he has to get the benefit of the doubt, innit?
How do you guys in the chat have this fight going right now? What kind of
3-2
breakdown do you
Haney.
have? 3-2 Haney. I actually have 3-2 Loma myself, which is
You got 3-2 Loma?
surprising at this point in the fight.
I've got it 3-2 Haney.
And I think you guys, because all of these rounds have been quite close, I think what you spoke about earlier of it being very close and potentially on the scorecards here, if this fight was to end now, I think Lomachenko is walking away with this on the scorecards because it has been so close. There is,
I mean, let's keep it real. We know what Top Rank's about, so.
But who will be ranked higher after this fight? That's the question that we all want to know the answer to. Loma is breathing like mad. I need Loma in the
Good
ninth.
body shot by Haney. Just having a decent start to this
This is what he
round.
does. He starts the rounds really strong, but then
It's the middle part of the round.
Yeah, Lomachenko starts to tie him up. Is when it comes into a physical battle, that's the difficulty.
I think that the footwork is what gives Haney problems, man. The way Lomachenko was able to almost dance around him at times.
Yeah.
That's what
But you
gives
know
him.
what? The benefit of it, though, is even when Lomachenko's dancing around him, he's not really landing anything. Like, the cleanest work that I've seen landed is Devin Haney's body shots for me.
Yeah. I agree.
Good shot, but Haney's having a good round this round so far.
Yeah.
Can he keep it up?
Early doors.
This is where the young man might come into his own. Oh,
Well,
good
I
shot.
also think Lomachenko's being smart and giving up around, maybe.
Lomachenko, he's catching him with some nice shots here. Not really troubling Haney, though. You can see that his power is just not enough to really.
Devin
phase him.
Haney has
But
basically
by the
said,
same token,
I'm going body shots all the way through. So
Yeah,
that's
he is.
what Devin Haney's basically said.
Yeah, you can see Loma trying to get low and try and offset the power, offset those body.
Oh, good shot by Loma.
So I mean, as Haney charges in here when he looks for the body, he is getting clipped by Lomachenko.
It's the middle part of the round. It's the middle part of the round again.
It's the middle part of that round.
Yeah, he works out his movement and then he's able to counter, but he's only able to get off 1 or 2 counters across the round. So you've got across the majority of the round, Haney takes it for pushing more action. Although Loma has a flurry in the middle.
Loma's he looks a bit tired in this round, I must admit.
I can't lie. I think Lomachenko, he's landed good counters, but it's few and far between, isn't it?
Yeah. I agree,
Exactly.
Shane.
Yeah, I think this is a bit more of a convincing round for Devin Haney.
I
And
think
maybe
this is
this is
probably
the
the
stage where
most
you can-
convincing round of the fight.
I've got it.
And is this a telling sign for the rest of the fight to come? Because
Yes, I think it is. I think
Good
it's
jabs by
dangerous.
Haney.
If Lomachenko doesn't start picking up the pace now in these next couple of rounds,
but
You can,
you see the
you
fight
can,
start to drift away
you
from
can
him.
literally see Loma breathing through his mouth. He's tired.
Yeah.
Laurie, you reckon it's
Yeah.
the body shots?
Yes, I do. I think that's a very good tactic by Haney. Invest in the body early.
Combination of the body shots and the age, though, because
Who
even
did he
without
not
the
give
body
that
shots,
round?
Devin Haney was.
Definitely a Haney. I think that's one of Haney's best rounds, that one.
Mhm. I have to agree. So what are we saying? I've got it 3-3. You guys have it
I
4-2.
got it 4. I got it 4-2.
I've got it
3-3.
4-2. I've got it
4-2.
4-2.
3-3.
But that being the 6th round, was that a turning point in the fight? What are the comments
Yeah,
saying?
that's what
Well,
I
the
was going to
comments,
say. That's what I was going to ask.
Well, Dan Griffiths, shout out to you, mate. Considering this isn't the studio, it's a top tier show. When you've got a top tier panel of boxing geniuses and one
Yes,
clamp it in the top
Nick,
left, then it's
boxing
always going to be.
experts, not just you and Laurie, bro. What can they do? I can't believe you even said that.
You're so why are you doing this to heart? It's all concept, bro.
We got Haney doing what needs to be done. What is the difference? WB difference between the Cambosis fights. Loma is feeling the body and backing up. I think he's saying that the body shots are starting to affect him, and that's why he's backing up. I think it's more his gas tank that's personally doing that, but the body shots obviously play a big factor into
body
that.
shots, trust me, they will.
Oh
take
yeah,
their toll down the stretch.
oh yeah. It's just sucking oxygen out of you.
Yeah,
like,
that's one thing that
constantly.
in the earlier fight with Chantel Cameron, she was going to Katie Taylor's body a lot as well, and that reaped dividends for her too.
It's even for me halfway through 3-3 round.
Good shot by Loma.
Beautiful shot. And this is what he needs to do. He needs to come out a bit more aggressive in this 7th round here, Lomachenko.
This is where you see the age, because when Loma used to damage opponents, he would stay in that pocket, move around them, and keep picking away at them. At the moment, he dips in. Maybe it's obviously about Haney's quality as well, not just the age, but he gets in, does a bit of damage, and then backs back out again.
This round is a bit funny.
I think you can see that Haney's starting to back him up more now, though.
He is.
funny
Look, every time Lomachenko is getting tired or something, he just goes straight in for the clinch and just throws Haney to
I
the
told you
other
that, though,
side of
didn't
the
I? I
ring.
told you guys that he's very good inside like that.
You know, Lomachenko, yeah? I can't give him rounds just for landing a good single.
No.
That's
Exactly.
the problem.
Exactly.
He's just landing a really good single.
He's got his back 3 times in the last 20 seconds here, Lomachenko.
Good shot by Haney.
He's not doing enough with the actual hands, ironically enough. He would make actually a great mixed martial artist, Lomachenko. He's got brilliant hands.
He used to do martial arts when he was younger. I told you that, and gymnastics.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, I know.
And dance.
Yeah, he's danced as well.
And he's dancing with his fists right now.
No, he's losing this round, man.
Right. Yeah. He's just trying, like literally, literally just trying to land a good single. Like there's not enough.
You know, Devin's starting to back him up now. This is a good round for Devin. But I say that. You know what it is? Just as you think that Devin's starting to take control, it's almost
Lomachenko pins him back and he has like a 10-second flurry.
Yeah.
What is the Lomachenko doing with the Devin Haney has lost every clinch for me in this fight.
I
Every
know,
clinch
but
he's lost.
that's what I'm saying. But he's a wrestler, so obviously he's going to lose every clinch. But it's not power. Like you can see he's got the more strength. He's pushing him back, but then Lomachenko is just slipping underneath every single time. He's literally getting underhooks and slipping.
But you know
around.
what Devin's doing good? With when he's getting the clinch, he's using that free hand and he's still hitting the body with it.
That's good body shot.
He
There.
is. He's tanking up on the body shots.
It's very competitive, though. I don't see even that round. I'll give it to Haney, but it was very competitive.
Yeah.
I would give that to Haney, but a better round for Lomachenko.
I thought it was a better round for Lomachenko.
It was.
How you score that round is a bit harder, but it's a better round for the round 6 was easy work.
Mm-hmm. Toby Larone coming in here. You can tell Loma spent way too much time in the amateur game. He just tries to score singles all the time.
That's what I've been saying.
And,
I've got it 5-2 to Haney.
5-2.
I think I'm going to give that as a sympathy round for Lomachenko.
So what we
Austin
just
17. Loma is not winning right now. Loma is taking some wicked body shots. That's not sustainable.
Yeah, I think you lot.
With his age, for sure.
I think you guys are not giving enough credit for the body work. I mean, you look at Lomachenko in his corner. His dad's whispering in his ear. That's not a good sign.
And
no,
that's a good.
It's been great.
That for me is a telling sign. That for me is a very, very telling sign.
When a trainer is whispering in your ear, that means he's telling you that you need to step it up.
Like Anatoly is a very, very good coach, and he will be seeing. He knows his son more than anyone. He's seeing Devin Lomachenko in a fight that he's never. I don't speak Ukrainian, but he's never seen Lomachenko in this type of fight.
He's trying to make him dig deep and pull that last bit out of him. So he knows his fighter is struggling. I've got Haney up by 1. I've got it 4-3 so far. It's close.
Me as well. I got it 4-3.
Yeah. I've got it 5-2.
How do you have it,
4-3.
James?
4-3.
To who?
Haney.
Yeah.
I give Haney the last 2 rounds. I had it 3-2 Loma at one point.
But I also think though, not only is Haney winning the fight, but Loma's losing the battle. He's losing the war because he's the one that's Nick. Remember you were saying the one who's going to tire down the.
Oh, look, he's gone down, but that was a push. But even that, I remember one time my trainer used to say to me that if you wrestle someone to the floor, that is a good thing because that shows that you got the strength over him. And
it does, and I've said that. But I mean, if you're talking about wrestling them to the ground, Lomachenko's had Haney on the ground about 4 times this fight.
The unofficial scorecards has got Lomachenko winning.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
How many rounds does it have it?
By 1 round.
By 1 round. But, you know, unofficial scorecards are unofficial scorecards. I've seen many a Tony Bellew scorecard, which hasn't turned out to be the same as the actual.
What
I think Loma's been good in this round, though.
He means like the commentator or whoever's. You're watching on Top Rank, are you?
Yeah, I'm watching on ESPN.
Yeah, ESPN Top Rank. So whoever they're giving.
I don't think they're giving Devin Haney enough credit. I mean, he's clearly winning this round, surely.
But like we said, we knew that going in. You know, any competitive round.
Well, this is what I was trying to tell Shane about the empathy with Lomachenko.
No,
any close round,
anyway. That would have happened anyway.
Any close round, they're going to give it to Loma. Oh, look. It's a very good fight, though.
Work by Lomachenko. And again, bullying him in the clinch. As you said, it does start to play a factor into it. To be fair, I thought I know Lomachenko is breathing heavy, but he's actually gaining energy in like the 7th and 8th. I thought the 6th round he looked really leggy, but
yeah, I thought he
couple of rounds
he's uphill battle from there, but he's actually been active.
Yeah, he has. And like you said, it was potentially him taking a round off. Maybe it was a conscious decision to allow.
I think it's going to be one of those fights where whoever loses is going to claim that they won. I can see
literally.
Whoever loses will have a good case that they won.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys want to see if it stays like this? Do you want to see a rematch?
Yes.
Yeah. I would.
I mean, who won that round?
I could be tempted to give that to Lomachenko.
I think I do give that round to Lomachenko, to be honest with you. More physically imposing. I think he landed the more.
Yeah, I think I have it for Loma as well.
He's
I got
not,
it
he's
4-4.
not just throwing Haney to the floor because he's getting outboxed or he's getting beaten. He's just shrugging him off in the clinch, trying to get back to fighting. You know, I got to give that round to him.
Devin's gonna have to go out next round and really, you know, make those body shots that he landed early count. You know
what? It's one of those fights that no fighter has had a really dominant round that you can come
No,
back.
Devin had the round 6. Devin had round 6.
Yeah.
Probably the most dominant, but even then, it wasn't like a completely dominant round. Like Lomachenko looked tired, but he was still having joy, like with some of his counter punches in there. Even Loma's father told him to keep up the pressure, but can he do it? That is the question. You guys have it 4-4. I think. Well, Laurie's the only one here that doesn't have it 4 rounds to 4. But I've
got it 5-3. But listen, if you got it 4-4, I'm not going to complain of that, to be honest, because it is a close fight.
Well, like you said though, rounds 9 through 12 is where we're really
this is where.
And Lomachenko's looking explosive right now for round 9. I thought by round 9 he was going to be looking pretty gassed by this point in the fight, especially with the way that Haney was opening up with the body shots in the first couple of rounds. But Lomachenko, he's growing into it in these championship rounds here. This could be anyone's fight.
And what you said, what we spoke about before with winning all these clinches and throwing Haney around, and we know Lomachenko's had shoulder problems and shoulder surgery. Really, no sign of any of that.
Nope.
Just pure strength. Really can't underestimate these guys and how tough they are.
Good body shot by Devin.
But then he gets clipped with a pullback left hand there. Every time Devin Haney's...
To be fair, these unofficial scorecards are stupid because literally...
that's a good counter by Devin there.
Why is it?
You know, it's like this about
because they gave that round to Haney, but I thought Loma won it. But
so it's stupid because they disagree with you.
No, it's stupid because I think there's a narrative, obviously, of them being in favor of Loma, but then obviously, you know
what I would say though, right? This is a very close fight, man. I mean, it could go either way. Even I'm going to say that. So. Because, I mean, look just there. Loma landed a 3-punch combination there.
Mm-hmm.
But then Devin comes back and backs him up with a jab. So it's almost what you prefer, isn't it?
It is. And you're saying that Devin Haney has had a lot more success to the body. I think if you're talking to the head, Lomachenko has had the better success when it comes to headshots in this fight. And if the body shots don't really suck the energy out of Lomachenko going into these final rounds, is there an argument to be had that the headshots?
This is a good little spell for Devin. Devin's had a good minute.
I actually think Devin's winning this round.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Loma's looking a bit tired, but then he comes back with a good shot. Devin,
bro, this is one of the most swing round fights I've seen in a long time.
It is. Devin's had a good round though. I have to say, he's backed him up. Loma's looking tired. But you see, the thing with Devin is because he's not a big puncher, he's landing shots, but he's not hurt Loma.
Yeah.
If he was able to hurt
Loma ain't hurt Devin either.
True, but
you can tell that Loma's starting to slow down because although his hands are moving quickly, he's not pivoting as much as he was before. The legs started to slow, that pivot started to go. And, he's fighting, but he's planting his feet in fighting.
I think that's Devin's round, man.
Yeah, I think so as well. I give that round Devin Haney as well, for sure.
Just about, yeah. Just about. I mean, it's you can see even in the clinch as well, Lomachenko not quite as efficient with his samba skills. I think someone said Loma could win because of output. Well, like I said, I think he's had a lot more output, especially in terms of the headshots.
He's had a lot more missed punches as well, though.
He has, but like I said, the headshots are high visibility, but Devin is touching the body more. But if this goes the distance and the body shots don't really suck the energy out,
I don't think neither of them will be happy.
Which one? If you were scoring a fight, what would you think is more important? Someone's body shots or someone's their work?
It depends on the connect percentage.
It also depends on the quality of the shot.
Because you're seeing it there. Lomachenko is catching Haney a lot. It just doesn't have the power to properly.
I gave that round to me. I
would, but I'm talking about the overall fight.
We're into round 10, championship rounds.
Championship rounds. 2 minutes.
So
on the
finely
clock.
tuned. I mean, I would say Devon's just ahead, but you know what?
This is the first sign of Devin actually looking a little bit fatigued.
Yeah.
Don't know. He is pressing the action,
But it could be mental fatigue also,
but the
He's not
footwork.
quite. This isn't the fight that he probably thought he was going to have at this stage in the fight. He probably thought.
No, I don't think he
Lomachenko would
expected
be
Loma to
gassed up
start
by
so
now.
fast.
This is the gamble. If you're going to go for body shots and try and suck the energy out of your opponent, the judges are probably going to favor headshots over body shots. So if you're going to give those up, you may well you're investing for later in the fight, but you may well give up rounds. So that's the gamble.
I'll tell you now, whoever loses this fight is going to complain and say that they won. And you know what? I wouldn't even blame them because
Literally.
yeah. Because I can't see any of these guys stopping the other one. Oh, Loma!
Oh, beautiful uppercut there. Beautiful uppercut. Is Haney wobbled? Haney looks like he's a little bit wobbled there. He's had a couple too many proper number 12s. He's a bit shaky in there.
This is as soon as you said it as well, Dev. As soon as you said it, Laurie.
Woo, mate.
Haney needs to get that back because that combination's probably cost him that round.
Of course.
Lomachenko, again, you were saying, Nick, he looked at the end of that 9th round there a little bit leggy. 10th round, he's come back out again and he's back. He's looking nimble. He's looking
Good little
explosive.
comeback by Devin.
No, it's not enough.
He's making Haney miss. He's making Haney miss with those hooks.
It's not enough.
Thing is, as well, Haney, he might have to just leave that round alone and let Loma take it. And
I was thinking the same thing, Nick.
Don't leave your chin in the air trying to win back that round when you're probably not going to.
Oh, another good shot by Loma.
Bro, Loma's won this round clearly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
clearly.
And that means I have it 5-5.
That's got to affect Devin Haney mentally because you're getting into round 11 where you're expecting the old man to tire down and he's giving you the best work and the best punch of the fight, and you've got to be thinking,
especially after so much body work.
Yeah, he's not going away.
Which goes back to my earlier point. The body work clearly hasn't been effective then. So if you're judging this fight, do you not put more stock into the headshots of Lomachenko?
You definitely could. You definitely could.
Which actually makes me potentially think that on some scorecards, Lomachenko might be 6-4 right now, if not 7-3.
That's the gamble. That's the gamble.
Not 7-3, surely.
No,
I'm saying some scorecards. I wouldn't personally. I think it's 5-5. I'd cut this down the middle right now.
I think
I've got it 5-5.
It's all on the last 2 rounds for me, man.
Boy.
On the last 2 rounds.
I expected the fight to be close, but not this close. Jesus Christ, bro. This has been a close fight.
I've got it 5 to Haney, 4 to Loma with 1 even. But it's very close.
Completely even. Completely even.
Loma's still ahead, Oddie Pill. What do you guys think in the chat? I'm seeing a lot of love for Lomachenko here. A lot of people.
How do you have it? How do you have it, James?
I have it 5-5. I have it 5-5. That
How
fight,
do you
that
got
round
it,
with
Nick?
Lomachenko.
How do you have it, Nick?
5-5.
Yeah, I got it completely even.
It seems every round there was the 6th round and there's the 9th round where I think Devin Haney, like Lomachenko looks gassed. He's looking a little bit leggy, and I think Haney's going to start to really step on the gas and walk away with the fight. And then the next round, Lomachenko just comes back, and it's almost as if he took the last round off, and he's back. He's looking nimble.
I'm hoping
the shots off.
I'm hoping Devin done what Nick said, innit? And just took that round off.
Devin needs these last 2 rounds, man.
And Laurie got that bias. What do you say to that one?
At this point, if you're Devin Haney and his team, what do? Do you go and press the action and go against
He's
the guy?
got to press the action, bro.
You got to press the action. You got to press the action.
This is going to play right into Lomachenko's strengths. From this position right now, this is not where Devin Haney wants to be.
He's not.
Oh,
I mean,
big right hook. And again, Lomachenko is pinning Haney back. Throwing him into the corner. Woo.
I'm not going to lie. As much
what?
as I love Devin Haney, this ain't looking fantastic.
For who Devin Haney is, can I just say, for a guy who's 35 and had as many amateur fights as Lomachenko, the fact that he's taking him into this stage of the fight is mightily, mightily impressive.
He's winning this round as well.
Not many people gave him a chance going into the late
Clearly.
stages of the fight.
Clearly winning this round. Clearly.
Oh, he's clipped him. Big hook. Oh, he's wobbling. Is Haney wobbling? Woo!
He's just got caught 3 times there.
I can't tell
Yeah,
if it's like his wrestling
Haney's lost this fight.
Yeah. You've got to think that, you know, the judges, we already know the judges are going to favor Loma, and
Haney's lost this fight, bro.
he hasn't done enough.
Unless we can pull some magic out this round, I'll have it 6-5 to Loma going
Haney's
into the
lost
final round.
this fight. I'm telling you this
that's
for
a
free,
loss.
bro. I don't even need to see the last round. Haney's lost this fight.
Ooh, mate. And this is mad, man. Styles make matchups, don't they?
Is
Styles make matchups.
Haney's the one now as well, like breathing from his mouth, looking tired, you know.
Oh, God, Loma. Oh, Loma's on top, man.
Mate, it's
Haney's lost, bro. I don't know, bro. I'm telling you, Haney's lost this fight because there's even the fact that it's close.
But it's not just close, it is down to the wire close.
Nah, Haney's lost. It's Haney's lost.
Well, this round I have going Loma, so if
Well,
he doesn't
it's
slip
gone.
in the final 40,
What I would say is, right, this is one of the clearest rounds to score. And the fact that it's round 11 is not a good look for Haney.
Not a good look at all.
it's not, because this is where we would have all put money on Haney
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
this to
This is
Lomachenko.
where the younger man should be coming on. He's
The
having
body-
a
the-
Is there
he's
a
having a
rematch
better
clause in this
second,
fight?
he's having a better latter half, but even so, man.
Was
David-
it? Has this
Lost,
been a
man.
poor game plan? Has this been a poor game plan by Devin Haney?
No, it's just
Target the body?
Loma's been brilliant tonight, man. I have to say.
Loma's been good, and I also think Devin Haney wasn't surprised expecting Loma to be so competitive early. You know,
Yeah.
I thought Devin thought he was going to cruise the first few rounds.
Good
I
job
don't
by Haney. Haney had a better last 30 seconds, but that was
Nah,
definitely
bro,
Loma's round.
that round is
What
Loma
Lomachenko's
all
done
the way.
really well. He's obviously learned from those losses and said, okay, these young guys are going to come and put it on me early and try and take.
You know what it is, guys? For me, I've got it 5-5-1. So it's dead even for me going into the last
I got
round.
it
The momentum is definitely
6-5
low.
Loma. 6-5 Loma.
6-5 Lomachenko, I've got it.
6-5 Lomachenko, mate. This is
Devin's
a
going to have to
Lomachenko
win
dub.
this last round.
But
Yeah,
you can see.
he needs the last round to get a draw for me.
Mate, he needs to knock him down in this last round to have any hope
It's
of
not
winning.
going to happen. You can see that Lomachenko, even at this age, he's learning.
That's not going to happen.
He's learning from his losses. He's not letting these young guys come and put it on him and take these early rounds and physically impose themselves. He's negating that. He did take a lot of body shots, but he's negating that, and so that he can pace himself across the fight. It's been a really, really good game plan from Lomachenko.
Beautiful left.
Devin's
going to
have to win this last round.
Here we go, last round.
This is it. Get
Thank
your
Devin
predictions
Haney
in the
title.
chat. Get your predictions in.
I
I want to see who put Loma winning this, because not many of you in the chat before the fight gave Loma too much of a prep. Ooh.
I would imagine there's a rematch clause, so we're definitely going to see a rematch. But to me,
Yeah, run it back. Run it back. This is a good fact. Run it back. This is so competitive.
but like I said, whoever loses is going to say they won. So it's going to be one of them, man. Good start by Haney, but Loma comes back.
What are we going to say? Could it be a draw?
It could be, Could be.
6-6.
It could be.
Emil Heskey, Haney shock knockout incoming. I think he's going to need one to.
He's not going to knock Loma out. No way.
He's not knocking Loma out. I could just tell
See, this is
you
what
guys
I was saying. This is what I was saying, guys, before, is that Devin doesn't punch that hard.
No.
He's having a good start to this round, though.
I
He
think
always
so.
does.
I think so, but
He always starts the rounds well, and then Lomachenko
last round he didn't, though, Nick. Last
Apart
round he
from
was
last
getting pinged.
Great fight, though, man. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man.
there you go.
Why not give it a draw? Run it back. Give it a draw. Because I
But
think
No, but to me, I still think that. Oh, good shot by Haney.
I think Haney's winning this round. But
He is. But the
Give it a
rounds that
draw.
Haney's won, have they been conclusive, though?
No.
No, he won- he
round
won.
6 and round 9, yeah. But personally, I'd say they were.
But then Loma's round 11 was amazing.
It was. And right now I have this relatively even going into this last minute of the fight.
Loma's
I got
backing him
Haney
up.
winning this round. Haney's been winning
Lomachenko's
this
going
round.
pin back. Beautiful
No,
work.
but Loma's backing him up, though, Shane. That's the thing. in America, they don't like fighters fighting on the retreat.
Yeah, but look how much shots Haney's
Oh, good shot
actually.
by Haney.
I think
It is,
Haney.
but they
I
didn't
think
land
Haney's
clean.
been winning this round because he's
He
actually
is.
landed more punches.
But as Laurie said, it's not a convincing win of the round.
Yeah, but
Like,
early
you could
on,
argue
early
this
on in
for
the
Loma.
fight, Haney was backing up Lomachenko all the time, and people said the rounds would be close and could go.
I
either
think
way.
Haney's been winning
Good
this
body
round. I
shot
think
by
Haney's
Haney,
won
but he
this
gets
round.
caught again.
Yeah, I'd give Haney this round for sure. Definitely, I'd have it a draw.
Me as well. I have it a draw. If anyone wins 7-5, I wouldn't complain though, and I
Yeah.
want to see it again.
What's interesting is people in the chat are talking about boxing politics and the judges, but they seem to be torn on who would get the favourable decision. Some people think the judges could rig this for Loma, and some people
If
think
it's politics, definitely Loma's going to get it.
Devin Haney
But-
is not signed to Top Rank, so why
Yeah.
would Top Rank want him to win?
But you
I
can't
agree.
say
The
you
last
can't
10
argue that
seconds.
it's politics though. Oh,
Devin-
big flurry by Lomachenko at the end here.
Oh,
Trying to get him out of there. No, he can't. And that
they don't
is
think they
a
won.
wrap.
I think Devin Haney won that last round.
I'll
I
tell you
agree.
who won. The crowd won. The audience won because that
We
was
definitely won.
absolute spectacle.
Brilliant fight.
But for
Brilliant
me,
fight. Brilliant
Lomachenko,
fight.
Who do you
Devin
think
Haney
won
to
that
put
last
that
round?
smile on.
Haney.
I put
Haney
Loma.
won that last round.
So I got it. I'm gonna draw 6-6 draw.
I got it 6-6 as well, bro. 114, 114.
I've got Haney by 1 point.
I've got 7-5 Loma. 7.
You thought Loma won that last round?
Nah,
Lomachenko
bro.
did enough to win that last round. I do.
You think
Nah,
on top
bro.
rank-
For
you got
me,
the top rank-
Lomachenko didn't land enough punches.
Look, man, Lomachenko, I think, did enough to edge the fight personally. And like I said before, because of the fact that the body shots didn't really seem to have a massive effect on Lomachenko at all, I put a lot more stock into the work that Lomachenko did.
I'll tell
personally.
you what.
Over the fight, I
I'll be
think I
honest
give
with you,
the
right?
fight
Looking
to
at the
Lomachenko.
corners, Lomachenko's corner looks more happier than Devin Haney's. There's more smiles in the Loma corner.
No, because
Of course.
I think
I
Loma's
mean,
going
look,
to get
either
it.
way,
You know?
it's when either way, it's a if the fact that this has gone to such a questionable decision for Lomachenko is a win for him. The way that he's fought here is a massive win for him.
Devin is
Haney,
not celebrating.
anything less
His
than a
dad
win's
is
not
not
good.
celebrating. The corner, to me, that's a bad sign. Because if
He
you
tried,
think
it
you're
was like he started to.
They'll give it to Lomachenko.
I
No,
think they will.
but I already told you, look, this. They're going to give it to Loma because it's a close fight. You lot had to win this fight. They had to win this fight convincing, and they didn't. For
If
me,
you
I have
notice
it
as well,
6-6.
look, if you look at the pictures, obviously we can't hear the commentary, but they're focusing
Unofficial
on Loma's corner.
scorecards is 7-5 Lomachenko. Unofficial scorecards.
Yeah.
You look at that's Devin Haney's brother wiping him down. He's not smiling. You got Zab Judah's dad, Yoel Judah. He's not smiling. Devin Haney's not smiling.
Devin Haney was smiling though, and then it looks like his team have come around him, and that
No, it's
smile has
nervous.
been like
Energy.
wiped off
Trust
his
me,
face.
they're nervous. They're nervous. They're
But
worried.
I feel like someone's like putting their arm around him, like, I think you lost this one, son.
Like,
Devin-
it's a to me. They're not gonna give it to him because he's not with Top Rank. But for me, it was a draw. In my opinion, I
always said, and you can look at the previous shows. If it's close, it's going to go to Loma. But I'm going to say this: if it goes to Loma, I'm not going to complain.
Me neither. Neither.
It wouldn't be a robbery. I think it. I don't know, man.
I thought Haney won that last round though.
I
Because
thought
I
he
thought-
won the last round.
I don't. I think you guys are being harsh on Lomachenko. And that
No,
last
but I
round.
don't
thought
think
he lost
Loma
this
fought for a full 3 minutes. He fought for a minute.
Yeah.
He literally fought for that last minute.
Right, guys, look at the corners. That often tells its own story. Look at Loma's corner and look at
one. Here we go.
Haney's.
I think the final result is coming in here.
No one in Devin Haney's corner is celebrating. To me, that tells me a whole lot.
I already knew Loma was gonna win this fight, so
On the CompuBox stats, it looks like Loma threw more punches and landed more as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going Loma, man.
I
It is
told you
going
that.
Loma.
I told you from round. If it's close, it's going Loma.
He does, and like I said, the majority of those punches.
Is it a
from
split
Peter Haney
decision?
were in the head.
Is it gonna
They
be a
haven't.
split?
They haven't
decision?
said yet. They haven't. They're deliberating.
But Loma,
They're opening the brown envelopes as we speak.
I want to see a rematch regardless, though. I want to see a rematch regardless.
All right, here we go. The bell has sounded.
I think we're going to
The
see
announcement is
Loma.
coming in here. 1 second. Here we go. Judges' scorecard.
Could we see a draw?
That's what I said.
116,
I
112.
haven't scored a draw, but let's
Hang
see.
on.
We can't hear people.
115,
Well, one
113.
judge has gone
Hang on.
Haney. Because
Unanimous decision.
Haney's slapping his chest. Haney's
Devin
won it.
Haney, unanimous decision.
Wow.
Someone had
Wow.
it 116, 112.
Run it back.
Wow.
Run it back. Run it back.
116,
Run it back.
112, and two
That's
people had it
that's
115,
way too wide.
113.
Run it back.
You know
I
what?
love Devin
That's,
Haney. Can I?
that's a-
I will say this, yeah. You guys all know I love Devin Haney. Devin Haney is one of my favorite fighters, but he did not win that fight 116, 112. And for
Did he win
me,
it though? Did he win it?
I thought it was a draw. I said 6-6. I thought it was a
I
draw.
had Haney. I must admit, I had Haney one round up, but I wouldn't have argued if Lomachenko had a round up.
How did you, Nick? How did you have it?
6-6. I had it 6-6. I think
If it went 7-5 Haney, 7-5 Loma, I wouldn't complain. But 116, 112, that's a bit too wide.
I
Haney.
had
is
it, guys.
criminal.
I had it 6 rounds to Haney, 5 rounds to Loma, and 1 even. But I would say this: there was quite a few rounds where it was difficult to score. There was a lot of rounds where Devin Haney started well, like Nick said, then Loma would come back into it. So,
Laurie, can I ask you a question? Is TFB all right? Is Top Rank just loving the black fighters?
Let's ask James.
No, listen, man.
Tell us.
Well,
No,
I don't like the way you. I don't like the way you set. You've set me up for that one. I have to say though, you guys were all saying, especially you, Laurie, if it goes down to a close decision, they're gonna favor Lomachenko. I don't.
I
see
honestly did
how
think that. So I was
they've
wrong
gone
about
that
it.
wide. I don't
about
see
it.
how they've gone that wide on that decision for Haney.
My son
Lomachenko 7-5.
Daryl's just texted me. My son Daryl, and he wanted Haney to win, and he's just texted me saying 116, 112. No way.
No,
And I think so as well.
No, bro.
ridiculous.
I've watched many fights in my life, not as much as Laurie, but that wasn't a 116, 112. For me, that's a 114, 114, 117, 115 at a very best. 117, 115 at a very best. There is no way, that Haney won that fight so wide. For me, that's a disappointment because Lomachenko was a legend and he shouldn't have got that type of treatment. I had it a draw. If you gave it 1 round to Haney, I understand. 1 round to Devin, I understand. But that wide is ridiculous.
Again,
I'll say
it boggles
one
my
thing,
mind how
guys.
these judges can come to these conclusions sometimes. It puts
No, but you know what? I wouldn't
say.
say it's a robbery. You know why? Because
No,
a
it's
lot
not a
of rounds
robbery.
are close. When it's a robbery, it's when one fighter's clearly won and he's not been given a decision. I don't, like I said, I had it to Haney by a round, but equally, if they'd have given it to Loma by a round, I wouldn't have complained, honestly.
Well,
So
listen,
I think what Shane says, let's run it back.
We were debating who would get the favourable decision before. We all said the guy who's not signed with Top Rank. And once again, it's Mr. James Toon that's right. And James is the one that said, surely they'll build the brand around the younger fighter, the guy who's got more legs in it. He's the business brain behind
It's almost like that idiot in the top left that doesn't know anything about boxing. The Roger Mayweather, you don't know shit about boxing, might actually know a couple of things about the street science.
James, you know what it is, bro? It's like they want to make Shakur versus Devin. Shakur versus Loma don't sell. Shakur versus Devin does. So what you're saying is
Tank.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying regardless, Loma versus Tank doesn't sell.
You know what it is, right? I don't want to be. Let's be honest here. It was a close fight, so we can't say it's a robbery. So, for example, the fight tonight with Chantel Cameron and Katie Taylor, I was in uproar because one of the judges had that a draw. When to me, myself and Nick scored that 8-2 to Chantel Cameron. At most, it was 6-4. At the absolute most. But this fight, there was a lot of swing rounds, man. You know what? Boxing is subjective. It's like, what do you like? Do you like the footwork, the countering?
Laurie, can I ask you a question?
He came back to me and said he had it a draw. That's how close the fight was.
Laurie, can I ask you a question?
course.
In your opinion, do you think it's a case of I'm the champ, you have to take the belt from me?
Yeah, I do think there's a lot of that to it as well.
I don't like that.
I don't like that
personally.
neither.
I think
I
fight
don't
is
like
a
that
fight.
neither.
No, but that
like
is
neither.
traditional way that boxing is scored, where you have to take it off the champion. It is stupid, but that's tradition.
I don't agree with it neither, James, but I see it a lot in boxing. I see a hell of a lot in boxing.
Okay, fair enough. Then maybe swing it to him, but 116, 112.
That's what I was
don't
gonna
think
say.
he's got the belt round.
Let's just clarify. None of us have an issue with the decision, but we have an issue with that one particular judge's scorecard. That is what makes it fishy. We take away that scorecard, and the other two judges. This is a fair way to judge it.
I think even then a unanimous decision I think is incorrect. I thought Lomachenko had that fight personally.
But you could have three.
No, but James, but James, I've got to pull your card on that one, bro. You said that you had it even going into the last round. Then you said that Haney won the last round. So how could you?
I said Lomachenko won the. No, Lomachenko was 6-5 going into the last round for me.
Right. So how can we all said that Haney won the last round? So how could you?
No, I said Lomachenko won the last round.
No, you didn't. You said
yes, I did. I said Lomachenko won the last round.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how he had Lomachenko winning that last round, but
yeah.
But I did. And look, man, I you may call me blind, you may call me whatever. I don't have a problem with Devin Haney edging it. Like you said, there were a few swing rounds in there. That fight could have gone
Stevenson's
anyway,
in the ring.
A unanimous decision.
That's what I was going to ask you. Who does he fight next? Is it Tank or is it Stevenson?
No, he's got to fight Loma again, man. He's got to run that back.
If he can get past Loma again.
Strap season.
Oh, mate.
So, guys, who would you, if he can get past Loma again, we'll see a rematch. We'll definitely cover that. But if he can get past Loma again, Tank over.
No, but Tank don't want to fight him, man. Tank don't want to fight.
Mate, where's the money? Tank. That's where the money is. The money is Tank versus Haney. Hence why they gave the fight to Devin Haney.
Let's just take it one step at a time, guys. I'm telling you now, there will be a rematch because there will be a lot of people that thought that Loma won that fight. So this is one occasion.
A lot of people will feel that Teofimo Lopez has a point as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, a lot of people in the chat it's a big robbery here. Some people are saying that it was
no robbery.
A 3-round.
It wasn't a robbery.
Won. I'm saying the people in the chat. I'm respecting the opinion of these fine viewers here. Loma won by at least 3 rounds. Shady sport, robbery, stunt. Boxing is a joke. Boxing is rigged.
Wow.
Don't tell me.
Anyone who says that obviously doesn't watch enough boxing, because I'm not gonna lie. Boxing does have some rigged scorecards that Katie Taylor's won today. However,
apparently they're saying in there that Shakur Stevenson said that Loma won.
He's gonna say that, ain't he?
But another thing though. This is another thing that I think contributes, and I think a lot of people are missing. Devin Haney's never really had a tough fight. So maybe your preconception going into the fight was that it's going to be straightforward. So when it's quite difficult, you're going to give rounds to Loma just because he's overachieving. He's doing better than you had already expected.
Is it me that, I don't know, man. The body language, I've got to be honest. And I like Devin. I'm happy for him. But I've got to be honest. In his corner, if you looked at the body language in the corner, it did not look good.
Can I answer that though?
If you looked at Loma's corner, it could be because they were more positive. They fought beyond expectation. But I just got the impression that in Devin's corner, none of them were celebrating. And to me, it's always a sign.
Can I say something? And this is me speaking from a place of I actually believe this is the actual reason, because someone told me this. They thought that they were going to get stiffed on the card if it was a close fight.
Yeah, it could be.
So to them, they're not celebrating because they're thinking, wow, it's a close fight. They're probably going to edge it to Loma.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact there's people in Devin Haney's camp, and this is a fact. There's people in Devin Haney's camp that thought if the fight was close, Loma's gonna get. I'm not asking you that. I'm telling you. I'm telling you that
Yeah,
for
but
fact.
look at Devin Haney
Well, that's
himself
what
after
I
the
thought.
fight.
Because
Devin
I
Haney
said
didn't
I
look thrilled
referenced this
himself.
before. I referenced this before in the show, and I said everybody loves Loma, right? He's a very popular fighter. Number two, he's coming to the end of his career, and everybody loves a comeback story. Number three, the whole Ukrainian thing. To me, there was a lot of sentiment. You only had to go online and see some of the comments and some of the videos, some of the interviews that ex-fighters and current fighters were giving. People were literally saying, listen, man, I don't know, but I hope Loma wins. So there's a lot of that carrying into this fight. So, Shane, you could be right on that. You could be right.
Devin, and another thing, Laurie, is Devin Haney pushing Lomachenko in hindsight really didn't impose himself as the stronger man in the fight. So it was pointless. Now I think back, if he went out there and really physically imposed himself, I would understand. But he didn't. The guy just that's what I'm more disappointed with. If you watch that fight, you'd have never got the impression that Devin Haney was the bigger
Well,
and
this is
stronger
what I
fight.
said, and you know, I said it in the show, and I'm not trying to be Nostradamus. I said it, and I remember at the time James queried it. I said that listen, Loma is deceptively strong. If you look at his fights, literally all of his fights, he gets inside and he roughs man up. It's not so much because of body mass; it's technique. He knows how to do those things,
But he
and it's
wasn't.
because of his martial arts background.
He's not roughing him up. He's out wrestling him.
Yeah.
He's not roughing him up with punches per se, but he is bullying. As I said, he threw.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Haney to the
knowing what to do in those tight spaces. He's
Yeah.
very good at that. I've seen him do that. Even when he was an amateur, he was doing that.
But apparently, someone informed me he used to train Samba, which is similar to jiu-jitsu in a way. And to say anyone can push Stephen Parker is not true. It's the way he manipulates the force of Haney. As you said, Haney was ducking and he was trying to push him up.
Woke Jack Napier or Jake Napier, whatever your name is. Sorry to mess up your name. I will say, whilst Haney is in his home country, he isn't the home fighter because he's not signed to top.
No, that's not. That doesn't. No.
I think they need to do it again. Whether Devin or
he's not a home fighter.
He's not the home country. What do you mean? That's
I don't know if I think the way these things work is if Devin had lost tonight, then he would have had a rematch clause. But now that he's won, he may decide to go a different direction. I mean,
can I say one thing as well? I'm just looking at the chat while you guys are talking, and obviously people are criticizing and stuff. That's what the internet is, criticizing us, saying we don't know what we're talking about. But there's people in the chat saying Devin Haney won this clear. It's so easy. And then there's other people in the chat saying you guys don't know what you're talking about. Loma won this clear. It's so easy. And there's other people in the chat saying no, it's clearly a draw. What are you talking about? So when we get a fight like this, where there's such extreme camps on both sides, that shows you that the fight is competitive, right? Everyone's in disagreement.
Oh yeah,
and everyone's looking
at different. What you like. It's about what you like.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Boxing is a very subjective sport. So, four of us, who thought Haney won out of all four of us?
None.
I thought Haney won by 1 round.
Okay.
Yeah. Who else thought Haney won?
No one. They had them two had as a draw, and I had.
Who thought Loma won? Who thought Loma won out of us four?
This guy.
And what about Nick and Shane?
Me and Shane had it as a draw.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's a swing. I had it Haney by 1 round. James had it by 1 round to Loma, and you two had it a draw. So probably a draw is a fair result.
I had 2 rounds to Loma.
And this is what I'm saying. It's not a robbery because a robbery is when you get a fight that somebody has won clearly, but they've not got the decision. You cannot say that for this fight.
But there's no problem with the fact that Haney won. It's the fact that it's a unanimous decision, and somehow there wasn't a single judge on the panel that even thought it was close enough. And to have one that says 116 to 112.
Unanimous decision is fine. The unanimous decision is fine. There are only 3 judges. That's a very small sample
really
size.
I mean, we all had.
Wait, let me finish.
Let him finish.
There's only 3 judges. That's 3 people out of millions of people watching the fight. And millions of people can't decide. So you've got 3 people that all gave it to Haney. That's not the problem. It's just that 116, 112 scorecard. That's the only part where we're like, okay, 4 rounds to Haney is a bit wide. But the actual result itself, none of us are querying that. If they give it to Haney for a win,
one judge
I
gave it to
disagree.
Haney by 1 round, and another judge gave it to Haney by 2 rounds.
No, I think
That's not controversial.
there was I think there was 2 115 to 113s and 1 116 to 112.
Exactly. That's
But
by
I disagree with you that the fact that it's a unanimous decision doesn't mean anything, because I don't see how all 3 of them came to that conclusion, and that to me leans into the fact that maybe there could be potentially another motive going into it.
I've just had a text from somebody who's got a boxing channel, and they said that they had it a draw.
I had it a draw as well.
But this is what my point. But the fact that all 3 of them saw it the other way, and that one of them was so ludicrously swung, leans into the fact that there could potentially be ulterior motives or ulterior biases.
I would like to see that again.
Just playing devil's advocate.
Me as well.
I think they need to run it back. But I think,
I'll be honest,
I think if you're Devin Haney, you might swerve the rematch, because that was a hard night for him, man.
But you know what though? If I'm Devin Haney, I'll be honest. I would actually take I wouldn't take the rematch by choice, but I would actually favor Devin Haney slightly more. Let me tell you why. I think in the first 4 rounds, it was 2-2, and Devin Haney got caught cold in 2 of those rounds. Let's be honest. Devin Haney did not expect Lomachenko to come out so fast. The next fight,
by the way, sorry to cut you, just seeing pictures, by the way, of Lomachenko absolutely distraught backstage, bawling his eyes out, just in tears.
But that would have been the same for Devin if he lost. So I'm not taking to attention.
Not everyone goes backstage.
I mean, Lomachenko lost the controversial decision against Teofimo Lopez.
That was not controversial. That was not controversial.
He says it's controversial. He said he don't think that. That's why I'm saying.
Let's establish one thing. Tonight, Devin Haney getting it was not a robbery. Just like if Lomachenko had got it, it would not have been a robbery. This fight was close. There were swing rounds, and like you guys have both all said, it very much depends on what you like, what you value in terms of scoring. Me personally, I had Devin up by a round. But if somebody comes to me and says, Laurie, I don't know what you're talking about, I had it to Lomachenko by a round, I would not argue with them, honestly. So maybe a draw was probably a fair result. But, in boxing, man, you very rarely get draws. I mean, there was a couple of rounds, remember, earlier on in tonight when I wanted to score it as a draw, and Shane was saying, I don't like to score rounds as a draw. I like to get a fight. So that's what I'm saying. So when you're in that position, you have to go with one fighter or the other, and that's when you get the controversy.
It's certainly controversial.
And James, how many rounds? Let's be honest. I think Loma won 2 clear rounds and Devin won 2 clear rounds. Nobody else won anything clear. You said
nobody dominated. Although there was one round when it looked like Loma did hurt Devin. I don't think Devin hurt Loma at all tonight.
No, he didn't. But
there was one round. I forget what round it was. Maybe you guys can inform
11.
me.
Round 11.
Was it 10 or 11?
Where Loma hurt Haney.
11.
He buzzed him.
It was. He did buzz him right in there.
But then Loma also took a round off in round 6.
Look, the point that would really push it in favor of Lomachenko for me, the main game plan for Devin Haney was to work the body and tire Lomachenko out as the end. As we saw, although he was effectively landing to the body, those body shots did effective Jack Diddley squat to Lomachenko in terms of the later rounds. So in terms of his game plan and the success that he had with his body shots, I'd argue they were nowhere near as successful as Lomachenko's work to the head.
My counter argument to that, James, is watch every Lomachenko fight. Look at the middle rounds. The middle rounds, Lomachenko 7, 8, 9, 10, or 7, 8, and 9 against Teofimo Lopez. He actually cleaned them out. Against Ortiz, the back end of the fight, he actually swooped him. If you look at that fight, there was times in that fight, especially during the middle rounds, where you thought, wow, Lomachenko was actually slowing down here. He got his second win. So for me, it was always for Lomachenko to chase the fight because he was behind on the cards. So what we're seeing in the last few rounds is just him trying to catch back up. Because
who would you say implemented their game plan more effectively?
Neither. I
Yeah, I
thought,
would
I
say that
thought
as well. Yeah.
neither.
Listen, no one dominated, man. Let's take it. Let's take
Not
it.
dominated, but who implemented their game plan more effectively? Because Devin
Neither.
Haney was a
Neither.
big time favorite for Lomachenko to go the distance with him.
I would
I
disagree
think
with.
he
I would disagree
definitely
with neither.
implemented it more
I would
effectively.
disagree with neither, and I would actually go with both. You know, one's game plan
Yeah,
was
yeah,
to work the
yeah.
body.
Both.
One's game plan was to work the body. If anything, maybe Lomachenko's, because Devin Haney's plan was obviously to work the body and obviously outwork him in the
No, but
final.
with respect, Nick, you're
Hang
only
on,
saying
hang on,
that. You're
hang
only
on,
saying
hang
that.
on.
You're only saying that because Lomachenko did better than you thought.
No, let me. Well, yes, precisely, but that's why somebody's game plan doesn't work. Of course, that's the same question. He's worked the body well, but Loma was so well
What was
conditioned.
Lomachenko's game plan? What was Lomachenko's game plan?
Lomachenko's game plan was to try to match him, not let himself get inside and not let himself get overwhelmed at the beginning of the fight like he did against Teofimo Lopez, which he did really well, and then and then start to pick his punches and start to dominate towards the end. And he paced himself really well. So I actually think Lomachenko's game plan worked better just because Lomachenko didn't slow down like Devin Haney was expecting him to. That's all. That's the only reason.
But you know what? I almost agree with that. But just because your game plan might have been more effective, it doesn't necessarily mean that you won. Let me give you an example.
No, Shane. The question was which one of them did their game plan more effectively. That's it. That was the question. So on that basis,
personally, in my opinion, I would say both. I would correct myself, like Nick said. I wouldn't say neither. I would say both. The reason why I would say is because whilst the body shot didn't do the same effect as we thought it did, the body shot still won Devin Haney rounds. We can't act like those aren't point scoring shots that won Devin Haney rounds. If it weren't for those body shots in the first 6 rounds, Devin Haney would have lost this fight easily.
Yeah.
Well, just to go over here, obviously the chat seems to be very divided. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, I'm seeing some people saying that it was a righteous decision for Haney to win. I'm seeing a lot of people very aggrieved with the decision, and I think
one thing
all
I would
of us
say,
are
James,
quite aggrieved with the way the decision did happen.
No, I think that's too strong. It was not. Let me make this clear. It was not a robbery, bro.
I didn't say that. No, I said aggrieved with the way that it was judged. The fact that they gave the 116 to 112.
By you using the word aggrieved, that's a very emotive term.
Yeah, and people will be aggrieved with it.
No. Listen, if you know what you're watching, you can make a case for either side to win. One thing I would say is that the CompuBox stats had Lomachenko landing more, but sometimes even that is not a good barometer because some of those shots might not have been landing properly.
But more than that, Laurie, is if you land 10 punches in 1 round and only land 2 in 1 round, but I land 5 and 5, I've won 1 round, you've won 1 round. You see my point? Yeah. So you may just have landed more punches in 1 round that goes to the whole accumulative effort. He had
and
a round.
And then, like I said, I think it's important to make this point is a lot of people wanted Loma to win. The sentiment is with Loma. So I've just seen just come up on my phone. Jorge Linares, the former fighter, who fought both. He said he thought Loma was robbed. That's what you're going to get tonight. You're going to get emotion.
Yeah.
Because people wanted Loma to win. So they're going to say, it was a robbery. No way was that a robbery because it was a close fight.
I think the thing that, I mean, look, I had Lomachenko winning, but to play devil's advocate against my own point, the thing that could potentially sway people, and maybe if you look back on it maybe differently, is because everyone expected Haney to be a lot more effective, because they expected him to be dominant. Sometimes you don't realize that you're watching it with a subtle sense of bias. And because someone's done better than you've expected them to do, then you potentially push it further into that direction. And that happens a lot of times. However, I would still say, despite that, I do still think Lomachenko just did enough to edge it.
I will say this, though, to everyone in the comments, and I've seen a few people message me as well. Listen, just because Lomachenko gave Devin Haney a tough fight doesn't mean he automatically gets washed by Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, and everyone else. That's stupid. I hate when someone has a tough fight, all of a sudden they're not as good as they were before the fight. At the end of the day, he fought another top opponent who came with a brilliant game plan, and he fought on an A level. When you got A level versus A level, it's always going to be a tough fight. It doesn't automatically mean that if he goes in there with Tank Davis is going to knock him out in one round. That's not how boxing works.
Shakur Stevenson said he thought that Lomachenko won. I think the sentiment is going to be with Loma. And this goes back to what I was saying to my boy Shane. The way Devin conducted himself in the lead up to this fight.
Boys, huh?
Sorry?
Just Shane. Shane's your only boy. Me and Nick aren't your boys. Straight to the heart, man.
Well, you're all my boys, but in reference to this particular point, this is what I'm saying about Devin had made himself very unpopular with some of the antics he did before the fight, in particular the push, right?
Yeah.
That type of thing, bro, trust me, that plays on people's emotions. So when you get a fight as close as this now, Loma won. That's what happens. I'm sorry, but that's what happens.
I mean, look, to echo your point, Shane, about the fact that it doesn't really mean anything in terms of the other fights coming up. Styles make matchups. I mean, this fight was as big of an evidence of it, anyway. Losing to Lopez losing to Kambosos, and the way that Devin Haney
I would go as far as to say, right?
in the second fight compared to how he dealt with that.
I would go as far as to say.
You can never predict what styles will affect.
I would go as far as to say, if you run a poll of fighters, just say you picked a random 50 fighters, or maybe even 20, picked a random 20 fighters from across boxing, and you said to them, who is your favorite fighter? I guarantee you most of them would say Lomachenko.
Facts.
And what I'm trying to say is, when you get something like this, where it's close, clearly people are going to go for Lomachenko. You know what I mean? It's.
But Laurie, I want to ask everyone a question on the panel. This is a question to everyone on the panel before we wrap up.
Yeah, James, I agree. Yeah, let's wrap up.
I think this is probably the most technical fight we've seen in the last 10 years in boxing. Just out and out.
I loved it. Yeah, I agree. We loved it. Yeah.
We did love it. And let me tell you something. It was certainly a mouth-watering fight over here. It had us on the edge of our seats from minute 1 to till the final minute of 36.
36.
Yeah, sorry, mate. My brain is a little bit chalked. I haven't had enough sleep tonight. I didn't want to stitch myself up there too much. But till minute 36, punch drunk. Well, a drunk.
You know how boxing works as well. You know, could I just say this as well? It's funny because although he won the fight tonight, Devin Haney might now be one of the most unpopular fighters in boxing. Seriously.
He might be, but as I said before, that might not be the worst thing. Sometimes a heel arc is something that's needed in everyone's career. But like you said, it's certainly a fight that's going to be divisive. It's going to cause debates that are going to rumble on throughout the week, potentially the month, and lead a lot of people with bitter or sour tastes in the mouth, and a lot of people claiming for the rematch. And the big question, obviously, on everyone's lips now is, what is next for Devin Haney? Will it be the rematch? Will he fight Tank? Who knows what he's going to do? But before we do wrap up here, can I just get some final summary from each one of you, what you thought of the fight and what you think should be next for Haney? First, you, Laurie.
Right. Great fight. I really enjoyed it. Very technical, very skillful, lots of action, lots of ebb and flow. I reiterate, I thought Devin Haney won a very close decision, but if it had gone the other way, I wouldn't have complained. In fact, the more I think about it, probably a draw was a fair result. However, I've got to go with how I scored it, and I had Haney up by 1 round. What should happen next? I think it's only right and proper that there should be a rematch. Whether that will happen, I'm not sure, because I know there's a rematch clause, but the rematch clauses are always in favour of the champion. So if Haney had lost tonight, he would exercise a rematch clause. But obviously he won, so he may decide to go another route. But I don't think boxing will let him get away with it that easy. I think there'll be a rematch.
No, well, it's certainly going to be a tough one. What about yourself, Nick?
Yeah, Andre Ward, who we could all agree is one of the best boxers of the last couple of decades. He's up there for one of the best boxers, one of the best amateurs as well. And he said that it was a great fight. It could have gone either way, and the robbery talk is is nonsense. It's just because that one scorecard was a little bit wide that has created an unnecessary narrative and marred the fight a little bit. But the fight itself was a class fight. Happy to watch it again. Really, really competitive. Both fighters look like they've been in the toughest fight of their respective careers. So respect to them for putting that on. And next, I want to see either Tank or Shakur Stevenson, either one. And I'm there obviously after a rematch, but I think that Devin probably has the edge in a rematch. And these are the fights we want to see. These are the fights we want to see. And also, to any fighters that are nervous about taking an L, we see Lomachenko take L's and still be a favorite, still be in competitive fights. We've seen Katie Taylor take an L tonight. She'll no doubt get a rematch if she wants it. There's nothing wrong with taking L's. We need to see the big fights.
It's not your losses that define you. It's how you bounce back from them. Shane, do you see Lomachenko bouncing back? Do you see him having a rematch? Or did you think this was too convincing for Devin Haney?
No, this is definitely, I had it 6-6, 114 to be exact. And I think, obviously, whenever I have a scorecard like that, I want to see it run back. I do think I give Devin Haney the slight edge in a rematch just because I feel like he'll be psychologically more prepared for the game plan that Lomachenko will come in with. But in regards to the actual fight itself, as I said before, I've watched probably over 300 to 400 fights in the last maybe...
Is that all?
In the last 2 years. I said in the last 2 years.
Right, okay.
And I can't remember a fight as technically sound as this. In terms of I'm a person who loves boxing technique. I'm not really a
really? You should say. I couldn't really tell.
Exactly. So because of that, I saw a lot of brilliant technical work on display today, and it's one of the best fights I've seen all year. So credit to both fighters.
It was. And if I'm just going to give a quick summary, personally, I think Lomachenko just edged it. But as you said, it was tight. It could go either way. The only thing that really sits very bad with me is that 116, 112. I will watch over it again and see if there was any bias from my side, although I do believe it was a lot closer than what he did give. I do want to see the rematch. But as you said, in the history of boxing, it's very unlikely that the younger guy goes into the rematch after winning the first fight and then loses the second one. It's very unlikely that someone of Lomachenko's age is going to be able to be that successful again the second time round. But what a fight it was. As you said, it had more class than your local secondary school. It was mouth-watering. It had us hooked from the first minute till the 36th minute. I got it right this time. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. An absolute star-studded panel as always. Give a round of applause to Laurie, Nick, and Shane. And shout out to all of you guys in the chat here. Some of you staying up till the right time of 6 a.m. Some of you from the States. Some of you from Australia, Uzbekistan, Kenya, wherever you have come to watch us from. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with DR Sports. And make sure you're locked in this week for Boxing Talk because, boy, there is a lot for us to get on Nash's.
I just want to say quickly, thanks very much to you guys. I enjoyed it very much. Thanks also to James, did a very good job hosting. And yes, thanks everybody supporting the stream and look forward to DR Boxing Chat during the week where we'll talk about this more. And yeah, man, it's been great. Really enjoyed it.
It has been great. It's been great time with the boys, but it is 6 a.m. now. We do need to get going. Thank you guys so much for watching. As I said, make sure you're locked and loaded for Boxing Talk this week. But for now, guys, it is goodbye from all of us.